It's Season 3 with me, Matt.
And me, Neil.
And me, Sam.
Welcome to this instalment of the Adeptus Terra podcast.
Strap in and relax.
Come and get your monthly hit of 3 idiots hooked on that plastic crack.
We hope you enjoy the chaos you're about to experience.
Go.
Hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 4 of this season. We've got lots to talk about, lots going on in terms of hobby and playing Kill Team, and we have a lore spotlight for you this episode. Before any of that, the only thing to mention is our next hobby hangout. We always kind of throw that out there at the beginning of the episodes. That will be May the 25th. So May 25th from 8 p.m. Come and hang out with us. We do a Google Meet. We post the link in our Discord server. Come and join our Discord server. We'd love that for that to grow. Also on the community safe room on Facebook. So yeah, come and be involved in the community more than just listening to us. We appreciate your time and listening to us three idiots prattle on about this hobby that we love. But it's always great to encounter you and chat more about your hobby and what you're up to, and the hobby hangouts is a perfect way to do that. So do come and join us.
What on earth was that?
Sorry, I meant to.
It was a weird little bleep.
No, I meant to mute my iWatch, but instead I put it on water mode.
Oh.
So when you turn it off water mode, it then pulsates the speakers in it to then clear out any water.
Okay.
So that's what that is. Like beep 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 beep.
Yeah,
Bloop.
yeah.
It's sort of like that's the ejection sound.
I don't know if the microphone has dropped.
It is dropping.
It
You
is
should
dropping.
tighten up.
Yeah, you should probably tighten that up. So anyway, I am joined by Sam and Neil as always. Here we are again for another episode. Do you want to jump into Legion of 3 or any other life updates you want to throw out there?
No.
No.
Good stuff.
Good.
Well, we'll jump straight into Legion of 3. Purchases. I don't have any purchases. I've been a good boy this month and bought nothing. I feel like my purchases may get busier as the year goes on with some of the releases that are coming. But I haven't bought anything this month, so it's a nice and easy one for me.
Going from nothing to buying 2 things, I bought some Model Air Red.
Okay, cool.
Because I ran out after painting 2,500 points worth of Blood Angels.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I also bought Kill Team Volcus.
You did indeed.
This was an accident.
Oh, well, yeah.
It was for Kelly's birthday. I went to the New Element Games store
in London. For
Kelly's birthday. And then I only went in to buy the mission cards.
Oh, right, for Kill Team.
And the rulebook. And then I thought it's kind of better value to buy the box set.
I would agree with you on that because you get the cards.
Yep.
You get the core book.
Yep.
And you got the board and terrain.
Yep.
That we've already used 3 times.
Yep. And you get the equipment stuff as well.
Oh, yeah, all actual.
And you get 2 kill teams to use as well. 2 of probably the weaker kill teams, according to some online stuff. But it doesn't make much difference because as an amazing player, you just cheat your way through the bad kill teams.
We'll get to that.
But yeah, the way I'm justifying it to myself is I get far more to actually play it. I can actually just go and play the game now. Also, I've got something else for my 40k army with the Aquilons. So it kind of what comes out in the wash.
Vespids will be cool to paint something alternative when you need that itch as well. Like if you go, I'm bored of painting Marine.
Also,
Guard or
so
whatever.
I took the books that you get. So you get the core rule book and you get like a Volcus specific book.
Like a campaign book, right?
Like a campaign book, but kind of like special missions in there. Yeah. And I read all the background on the Vespids. The Vespids sound bloody amazing. Like how they existed. Have you, as a Tau aficionado, have you looked into them at all?
Not really, because back in the day they were atrocious.
Yeah, horrible metal models.
So Vespids essentially, Tau went into for their old spheres of expansion.
Yep.
Found this Vespid homeworld, which was like just floaty islands, kind of Pandora-esque kind of way they do it. And then Vespids basically live on them. And then they found out that the Vespids had these magic stones that are miraculously make quite hyper radioactive weaponry.
Yes.
The Vespids can use without any consequence because they grew up on this planet.
Yeah.
And then that's when they decided to sort of invest some time into getting to know the Vespids.
Militarizing.
Yes.
And militarizing them. And effectively, they can't speak the same language. Not very well. So they don't know Tao-esque or whatever the language. I'm sure there's a natural name for it. Tao-ese? Tao-ese? Tao. It's just Tao.
Tao.
So we are the Tao. We speak the Tao. Tao. So they effectively, the way they control them is by having kill team like leaders on a nice what's it called, like a killer whale ship, manta ship, the big floaty ones.
Manta rays.
Big manta.
Is it a manta?
Oh no, an orca, which is the bigger one.
Orca gunship.
No, so the biggest
It's the giant.
is the manta.
It is the manta.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
The orca's slightly smaller.
So they're on the orcas, floating around above kill zones, and basically they are commanding the kill team from there, and they have like many redundant commanders for those kill teams on multiple orcas. So if the orca gets shot down, then another one jumps in. So they're it kind of plays out quite cool in the game.
Yeah.
So like you can lose like command. So they've got a little floaty robot that goes with them.
Yeah.
And if that one dies or is out of range, then they basically have like program behavior, kind of like Tyranids. Okay. So it's quite cool. They're quite cool.
Hide your robot.
Yeah. Basically, as a kill team, sound really interesting, and definitely like the fluff that
they're
you get
really nice models. The new ones are really nice.
Yeah, I think I probably will paint them orange because I like the orange ones.
I think the orange looks really good.
And it's something very different to what I've done before.
Yes.
And I've got an orange speed paint, so I might just use that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought that box. It was quite good. I enjoyed the fluff. I feel like I've got the value out of it already.
Cool.
It's surprisingly big. You can't.
Yeah, it's a big old box.
Doesn't fit inside a carrier bag. So
is that because they've made it big enough so that you can contain all the terrain in it?
It's the boards. No. It's so that the board is.
That's not that big.
No, but the board folds down, and that's obviously the footprint of the box.
Oh, okay.
So like it folds down into quarters.
Yeah,
so that's the minimum size of the box, width and dimensions it can be.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously height wise, you get loads of sprues because it's every building is obviously flat. And then 3 sprues per kill team.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
a lot of sprues. Actually,
a sprue for 2 sprues for the equipment. So yeah, it just starts adding up space wise. But yeah, it was quite big. Tried carrying that home. I got to walk back from their new store, which is down Drury Lane. Near the Muffin Man. Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Yeah, that will kill.
That was very well done.
That will kill some people's speakers in their cars. So the Drury, walking back from there, I got to the Supreme Court, or whatever it is, the courts, and I was like, "Fuck this," and just shoved it into my bag and was like, "I'll just walk with the bag open, like just sticking out the top of my backpack." Yeah. But yeah, that's how I bought Kill Team for Kelly's birthday.
Yep.
That's all I've purchased.
Not
that.
Woman.
That's all I can remember purchasing. Normally these I buy more and
Drip
I forget.
Feeds,
yeah. But no, go on, Neil. You've purchased loads.
So I purchased 4 things.
Loads.
4 things.
We've doubled each time.
So, yeah, exactly. So I had seen an advert for a place on Facebook called the Monster Merchants, and they're based in Ashford in Kent. And basically, they started out as an eBay store.
Oh, okay.
So they specialise in buying and selling of pre-owned wargame miniatures, board games, role-playing books, retro collectibles, toys, and video games.
Oh, okay. So they do loads of stuff.
They do have a massive mixture. And they've recently opened up a shop front. This shop front has a range of paints, starter sets, basing supplies, and tools.
Okay, so not like loads and loads.
Not a huge amount of sets, but they have Vallejo, Game Colour, Game Air, and Model Colour.
Nice.
They have the Army Painter speed paints, as well as some of the Army Painter Rage. They have Citadel paints. I don't recall seeing any spray paints, but then they have all the auxiliary products, so your flow improvers, your primers, etc., etc.
That's good.
They also stock one of each, or a minimum of one of each of the starter sets for 40k and Sigmar.
Oh, okay.
So
are we still going to play Sigmar?
Do you know what? So I was
I know Neil's keen.
I was painting some dudes, Is he?
Yeah, look at him. Look how enthusiastic
That's
he is.
as keen as you get, Neil.
I mean,
he's wearing clothes still. That's pretty keen. I know it'd be the other way around, wouldn't it?
It would be the other way around.
Yeah. Not very keen at all.
Off.
Yeah. The more naked Neil gets, the more excited he is for a game system.
Yeah. The more drunk I am. One of the two. Who knows?
So I was in the hobby room. I was painting, and I can't remember. Caleb saw something and was like, "Oh, what's that?" But and I explained a little bit, and he was like, "Oh, I'm more into like fantasy." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I was."
Did you slap him?
No,
right,
because I am too. To be honest, like, I much prefer swords, bows, and arrows.
Caleb, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." Yeah. I said I wanted to buy the spearhead box that has the lizard men in it, and showed him a picture. And he was like, "Oh, they look cool. Lucas would love them because they got a dinosaur and And then he's like, "Oh, I'd like elves," and I was like, "Oh, well, like this one." And he was like, "Yeah, I'll play that." I was like, "Oh no!" Like, I now got to buy 2 spearhead boxes. I guess. How do I get this past Jenny?
Is his birthday's coming up, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go then. Birthday presents.
Problem solved for one.
Oh yeah, no, I know that, but that's the catalyst, right?
Yeah.
My only concern is it's not like
there's
you
a
get
one
them.
box and done.
You get them built, painted, primed, ready to play. Do you think Caleb's at the point where you go, right, here's a box, now we've got to spend...
I would have to build.
We've got to spend 2 hours building this now.
Yeah, no, not at all. It would be me going home building...
So really then, would it be better to buy the box yourself, build them in secret or whatever, and then present him...
Possibly.
The army?
I think he would happily play around with the painting. I think he has... I don't think he'd... If he's anything like me, as a kid, he'll be like, "I want them built, but I want them built quickly. So I'm just going to glue bits together and be like, that's a guy built right."
Yeah.
And you're like, "No, the hips don't line up, or this doesn't." Like, I don't see him taking that kind of care.
Yeah.
So I'd have to build everything, and then I'd probably let him, like, "Oh, today I bought a rattle can. We're going to spray him in the garden," and he'd happily do that.
Mm-hmm.
And now a little bit further away and do some of that stuff.
Which is cool, right? Because I think if the building part is the... Yeah, I reckon it'd be cool. And then I think it definitely is like playing it plastic grey to start with. Super simple rules. And like that would probably drive enthusiasm
also,
to
if he hates it, I can sell it. Whereas if I've painted it, I can still sell it. But more people are going to want already built models than already built and painted.
Yeah, I get you.
Like, that's just how it is.
Maybe that's a good idea.
So it's something worth thinking about, 100%.
Yeah.
It's something I mentioned, I think, when we started this season a few episodes ago. January, feels like forever ago. That I'd quite like to get that Lizardmen box as a kind of... Because I thought it would be an intro. Because Caleb loves Hero Quest and, and is more fantasy driven. And Lucas loves dinosaurs, so just like looking at them and that might be a way into miniature gaming and seeing if they do like it. So it just seems like it's a bit of money where the mouth is now and actually do it. And it's like, oh, but there's a Space Wolf box coming out and there's Kill Team rule things I need to buy and just like, oh, how am I going to squeeze this in?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's funny you mentioned it. Anyway, go back to your wonderful store.
So yeah, I had a nose around because they've got some display cabinets set up in there with some stuff that they've painted. Also some of the other collectible items like Mega Drive games, that kind of thing. So we're going proper retro in that respect. Yeah.
There's one of those stores at Barleylands now that just does retro gaming.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Is it part of the stores over in there's a river, floods a lot. Not Canadian.
No, that's Nerd Base.
Nerd Base, yeah.
That's Nerd Base.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's over Battlesbridge. There we go.
That's the one. Yeah.
It's, Barleylands where.
No, I know it's sorry. I know it's not the one. Is it owned by the same people or is it just
no?
Okay, I've never been to Barleylands. We should do the 40k table sale. I've not been to Barleylands.
Did you not come to the War Boot?
No.
Were you not there?
Nope.
Ah.
No. I know it's surprising. Any opportunity to spend money on Warhammer, but no, I was not there. They're doing another one, aren't they? So we should.
I want to book a table.
Ben wants to.
Yeah, I know he's got stuff to sell.
Yeah.
Me and Ben have talked about doing the War Boot, and then basically we see the advertise it. It's like, oh, it's next week. We're like, oh, maybe we'll do the next one then.
Yeah.
And then we go, oh, well, yeah, we talked about having a table at the War Boot, which is like secondhand selling of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we look, and the next date is like a week away, and we're like, oh, I guess we'll do the next one. And it just never gets booked.
I just never don't have anything that I should
I've got
sell.
so much stuff to sell.
Yeah, but I don't need to sell any of it.
Yeah, you don't need to, and you store it up in your loft and whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure GC the Cult will come around and be good again.
Yeah.
So, sorry, your shop.
So yeah,
we will carry on talking about it. Have you talked about what you bought from your shop?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Right. Okay.
So I picked up some MIG ammo sanding sticks. So these are they taper. So one end is probably about 5mm, 6mm thick. The other end, or in width, should I say, the other end's probably about 2 to 3mm in width. So it gives you that chance to use get into tighter spaces. Easier insertion, yes. And they ranging from a 120 grit up to whatever grit it was, I can't remember.
Okay.
And I picked up some more black primer.
Why would you use those? Sorry.
To do mould lines and where you clip the models off the sprue.
But why would you use those?
To pretend to cut models off the sprue.
Pretend to cut models off the sprue and clean them up.
Have you used them yet?
Yes. I have.
On your nails,
it's been building crew.
You have actually been building. Sorry, that's very unfair of me.
Yeah, I used them to clean up the.
It was a good joke.
The Pistolero one that I built this morning.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. Hang on. So you built them this morning, and you still found time to clean mould lines. There's always.
That's
time
why
for
he was
mould
up
lines.
at 4.
There's always time to clean mould lines.
While we were playing, I was looking at the train. I was like, "Oh, that's a bit of sprue that's not cut off yet."
Yep.
I started noticing that halfway through a Death Guard model that I'm halfway through painting. I was like,
well,
that's a weird elbow. Oh, just cut that off. That'll be a bit of bad damage. That's fine.
So got them. I got some black primer. I got some more airbrush flow improver because I bought some gunmetal model color gunmetal grey. They didn't have any model air.
Oh right, yeah.
So I had to get the
flow improver in there
the
first.
model color. And yeah, the bottles have changed.
Oh really?
So they're not
as squeezy.
The design. No, they're more squeezy.
Oh wow.
So the design.
That's what my red one is up there.
Like the style anyway, but they're a thinner plastic.
Yeah.
They're probably more robust, but it's a thinner plastic. I was like, oh, this is different. It's not quite as chunky and thick.
But it means you can squeeze it.
Yeah.
Bigger squeeze, get a bit more paint out of it.
That's what they say.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, and that was it. That was my. They had some 3D printed stuff on the walls that somebody's done for them. So a bolt gun, a combat knife.
Where is Ashford?
Like, it's in Kent, Sam.
Well, I know it says Ashford, Kent, but where is Ashford?
Ashford is
if you say Kent,
south of the M2.
I'm just gonna Google it.
That seems like a better choice.
Somewhere between Sittingbourne and Canterbury.
Oh, it's not far. Hour and a half.
So it takes about an hour and a half to get there. Yeah.
Oh, there's a place called. No, hang on, no, it's not. That's just got a deceiving name. It's actually a recycling centre.
Yeah. It's
near the airport. It's near Heathrow. Am I in the wrong Ashford? I'm in the wrong Ashford.
Yes, you are. Ashford, Kent.
Okay, I'm gonna add Kent.
Not Hampshire.
I was like, Ashford's in Surrey.
Sittingbourne's like an hour away, so if it's between that and Canterbury, it's probably
about an hour and a half.
Yeah, okay.
For us.
So you drive along the M2, come off at the Ashford turn off, have another probably 20-minute drive to this place, roughly.
Every American is like, oh, that's a trip to the shops. Yeah. I live in Texas.
Who is that? I was following Instagram the other day, and she lives in like north, like Greenland or something. She was like, yeah, so it's a 2-hour trip to get to the shops. And I was like, jeez, like to buy food. Yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ. She was like, so I go once a week. I'm like, what the fuck? Go once a month. Like, just buy non-parent. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah. So yeah, they had this. Yeah, they got bolt gun, a 3D printed bolt gun, 3D printed helmets. They've got a combat knife that is massive. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Like real Space Marine size.
Space Marine size combat knife, and it's just like I would have to hold that in my arms. It's that big. And yeah, so it was a cool little shop to go to, and had a chat with the guy that runs it. There was somebody else. There was a lady at the back. I don't know whether she was painting or cleaning up or whatever. She was doing something model wise.
Oh, that's cool.
At the back, and they've probably got about 8 people in total that work in there.
Oh wow!
So it's similar sort of to some other companies that do sort of like painting miniatures.
No,
as well.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it seems like they have a lot going on.
So yeah, no, it was cool.
It's nice. I quite like walking into like hobby stores and stuff. I'll be somewhere I'm not normally, and even if I'm with like Jenny and the boys, I'm like, I just want to go in here. Like, why? Like, and from the front, it just looks like they've got oil paints and canvases, and it's a bit more arty shop. And I'm like, yeah, but sometimes they have an upstairs that has Warhammer in it. Like, I just want to go know if they do. And now where you use things like Vallejo, MiG, and all those like AK Interactive, it's like, well, actually, they might stock that stuff, which is harder to come by. In a shop anyway. You can always order it online, but I quite enjoy going into like a little hobby shop or a collectibles or something like that. That's cool.
That was the purchases.
Let's translate into models we've been working on this month.
Can I go first because it's going to be really quick?
No, you go. Kroot Pistolier, we know that.
There you go, Kroot Pistolier, done.
Yeah. Was he just straight off sprue? Or
straight off sprue.
Oh, okay, nice.
Straight off sprue. So,
are you using it as a Pistolier, or is it the Pistolier model?
Using it as a Pistolier because he's got a scattergun in one arm and a pistol in the other one. So
easy to identify.
Yeah.
Got it, Matt.
So I've just been doing a load. I think last month we talked about obviously needing to get ready for this 30k event.
I've not really done much since last month for it.
To be fair, you scared the hell out of me when you posted that all your 2,500 was red. And I was like, oh god, I haven't done that. So I've been doing a lot of. I'm kind of semi-batch painting the whole force, which feels stupid right now.
No, that's how I'm doing it. It's the best way to do it.
But I've been basically getting everything kind of to that same standard.
Yeah.
So I've got the armor color. So that's the 2 shades of bone. With the highlights, green details, and the base silver done on the missile squad, the las cannon squad, apothecaries, and the grave wardens. I actually have done a little bit more on those. So the apothecaries and the grave wardens have had their second silver.
So they're closest to being done.
Yeah. Towards basically, I'm getting everything towards transfers, and then oil wash.
Yeah.
And then it's all weathering and fine details.
Yep.
Which I'll probably do squad by squad at that point.
Yep.
But yeah, I have also base coated and bone with both colours. I got this done this week actually. The Volkite squad, my recon squad, and one of the 20-man tac squads.
Right.
The highlights, obviously, it's not all over armor colour, but I did those 37 models. I think it works out as in like 20 minutes. Because my airbrush is flowing very nicely right now.
Good.
No clogs. After all that cleaning I did last month,
happy days.
It was just glorious. I'm kind of like, I'm just going to fit a little bit in and I'll see what I get done. And I got all of them done with the highlights in probably half an hour, which was really, really cool. I then also finally got my decayed metal I got last month. So I started laying that down on the characters and the dreads. It was a bit too dark. Like, it is a really dark colour, and where I'm going to be washing down with the oil washes, I wanted it to look a little bit brighter. So in that set, with the coppers and the brasses, I had a Scale 75 old copper. So I've used that as a highlight accent to the decayed metal. And I think that looks quite nice. It's a very warm copper, and so it contrasts off the bone quite nicely. And it will obviously dull down again once the oil washes and stuff go over it. So, I think that I'm pretty happy with that. So the 2 dreads and the characters are ready for transfers now. So they're like the first bits that are ready for the kind of second stage of the army. On top of that, before I talk about the kill team, I built 2 Fallen Contemptors.
Yep.
So the way I did this is Ben mentioned that he had a sprue of a Betrayal at Calth Contemptor. So kind of mono pose, straight legs, straight arms, kind of back the way back when Contemptor. And it was missing one of the shooting arms, I believe, for some reason. And he didn't want it, so I took that and took some... I'm trying to think of the right word for it, like plastic, I guess. I don't know, clear plastic, a bit like the card holders that you'd put not. How do I explain this? Not card holders is not the right way. If you were at a cafe and the menu's in one of those plastic kind of things that help it stand
Perspex.
Perspex, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. So I had a Perspex sheet at the skate park that was, old and ripped up and a bit messed up. And it's quite thin, but sturdy enough. So I cut round the shape of the fallen dreadnought pieces and glued them to that as like a base.
Right, okay. I'm with you.
This is for your dead dreadnought?
Yeah.
Right, okay. That makes more sense. Sorry,
So,
I thought fallen dreadnought was like a term for a dreadnought and death guard. Sorry.
No, sorry.
I was with you.
Like chaos.
And I was like, actually, no, I kind of understand.
So you've got a dreadnought and you've turned it into a dead dreadnought.
No. So I got a dreadnought and I made it into 2 dead dreadnoughts.
Right.
So I used the back piece and one of the arms to glue down on the Perspex, and then filled it in with the some basing texture.
Yeah.
To kind of so it looks kind of semi-buried.
Yeah.
And then did the reverse, so it's the other one is face up.
Yeah.
So it's the front piece and the body piece with the second arm, and then with the third arm that I cut that in half, so the gun is kind of splayed next to the dreadnought, like it's been blown off, but it's kind of still close. And the other one has the shoulder but no arm.
Okay, yeah.
So they look fairly impact together. And I'm pretty happy with how they've come out. I'll take a photo of them because I'm probably describing them.
Definitely need photos for the Instagram.
But but they look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with those. They're built and they'll get base coated with the last 20 men.
Yeah.
That I need to base coat. So because I am still going to try and get my casualties done for the event. It is like another 75 models on top of the 75 models that I'm painting. So very possible doesn't happen, but that's what I'm at least pushing for. And they were a fun bit of building and converting, which I enjoy the most, I would say, in that whole process. It gave me a break from some painting, so I enjoyed that. And the last thing I've been doing is I have switched my focus to the Orc Wrecker crew for Kill Team, which I can't remember if I mentioned last month, so I'll mention it again. And because of that, I needed to convert some models that I had.
Yep.
It uses a lot of the like tank buster models for the Wrecker crew. So I had a bunch of them, but I needed to convert a smash hammer. So I took an orc that had a big chopper, like chainsaw axe.
Yep.
And cut the axe part off, but kept the main shaft.
Yes.
And then I used
I bet you did.
2 different Space Marine maul ends.
Right.
So I had one that was from a Chaos Terminator. It was quite big and bulky. So I cut that off and put that on the front of where the axe was. So that's the hammer part. And then I had a thinner, longer one that I think came from either the Death Watch or Grey Knight kits that I've had lying around forever. And so I cut the head off that and put that on the back, so it looks like an actual claw hammer.
Right, okay, yeah.
So it looks a bit more like a claw hammer, where one end is kind of big.
One is the face.
Yeah, the face.
And then the other side is either...
It's where the claw would be, but it's obviously just another mace, but it's thinner and longer. So I'm pretty happy with how that one came out. I also had to make a crusher model. So the GW one, it's like he's got pneumatic like hammers on his as fists.
Okay.
What I've done instead is I've used an orc knob that I had with a power claw.
Yep.
And just taken off his pistol arm and put another power claw on.
Okay, yeah.
So he's got 2 power claws for Snippy. He's a bit of a Snippy crusher. But because they're power claws, they could easily crush things in the pincers. So I feel like that works quite well.
Pincers of peril. The pincers of peril.
I think the key with Kill Team is as long as you can easily identify what they are, then you can kind of get away with some kit bash stuff.
Yes.
The last thing I had to do is I had a Rocketeer who isn't like the normal gunners, but does have a rocket launcher. So they look very similar, but he gets a one-shot rocket rack weapon. So I actually used the Super Frag bits from the Space Marine Desolation kit, which is like 4 kind of rounded missile pods go on top of the guns.
Yeah.
So I've used Super Crack ones, which are the more square ones.
Yeah.
So I put that over his shoulders, and then that looked pretty fine on its own, and then stuck a orc rocket on the top in the middle of it.
Ooh, okay.
Just to give it a bit more orkiness. I want to do some green stuff to kind of tie that together.
Yeah.
But it did hang off his back quite a lot because the orc models are fairly hunched.
Mm-hmm.
So I found a generic kind of backpack canvasy type, probably from a guard kit or something. So I cut off the bits that obviously identify it as that and stuck that on his back with some extra kind of what looked like grenade launcher missiles, like kind of mortar shells. So he's got some of those hanging off the bottom of it. And like a canteen and ammo pouches. So he looks a bit bulkier, and again, just makes it easier to identify that's the Rocketeer compared to the regular gunners that still have rocket launchers. But yeah. So, lots of kind of just stuff happening, really. A lot of that, I would say, is the last couple of weeks. Kind of starting the month as slow as I normally do, and then thought, no, I really need to do something. So then just kind of got working, and I've achieved a fair bit. Still nervous about getting done, but I'm good to a deadline, so I feel like I will hit that death guard. But yeah,
you just got to shrug it off.
Yeah, it's just doing it. Like I say, I'm trying to do the army in stages, so everything gets the armor color, everything then gets the basic details. Kind of ugly stage where everything's just kind of blocked. Get the transfers on, get it washed down, and then do the finer highlights, details, battle damage, all that stuff. But because of that, it feels like although I've done lots of work, nothing's close to completion. So that's a little bit like you have to kind of get into a certain mentality with that kind of hobbying, and I don't know. It's easy to get that easy win of those 5 guys are half done in a paint session. But then you turn around and you see 60 others that need painting.
So, moving on to mine, I'm doing a similar thing for my 30k Blood Angels. I've got a 2,500 point army like Matt. We're going to both the same event. I've got about 70 models in the army.
Yep.
The majority, if not all of them, are now red. So I just did a big airbrushing session and just airbrushed everything I had my hands on red. I'm now going through and all of the bits that should be black and silver or silver are being painted black to start with. And next stage from after that will be all the black bits meant to be silver will go silver. And actually, to be honest, on Blood Angels, that's kind of it. Like they've all got jump packs. They've all got
bit of brass here and there.
Yeah, they've all got jump packs. They've all got so 40 of them, 30, 45 of them are assault marines. So they've just got chainswords and bolt pistols.
Standard marines. Yeah.
So they're all being painted black. The chainswords will remain black and have a highlight to sort of bring out the corners and stuff.
You're not going to go hazard stripes?
Fuck no.
No, God no.
Not all of them. Some of them I do. Not all of them.
I have like 0 chainswords in the force. It's either bolter marines, heavy weapon squads, and my characters have like a power scythe. And so yeah, I don't even have a single chainsword, I don't think.
So I'm basically just going to go through and just do, rather than get like 10 man, 20 man, whatever through to completion, I'm just going to do the whole army is going to get complete at the same time. So steps in my head that I haven't written down, but they're in my head is blacks, silvers, highlights the black, highlight the silver. When I do the silvers, I'll do the eye lenses as well, and then do a green contrast over the top to have like shiny green eye lenses.
Are you doing any kind of oil washing or anything?
Yeah, so I'm going to do transfers first. Transfers first. A little bit of battle damage just to break up the red. Just like some chipping and stuff. Nothing too out there. Very, to be honest, majoritively clean. And then that's when I'll gloss varnish all of it. Do the oil wash.
Yeah, and then you'll do the eyes, I guess.
No.
You do the oil wash after the eyes.
I mean, why not? I guess I haven't got it locked down as a process.
I just tend to do all that stuff last.
Eyes last.
Okay. I just think if you want them kind of...
God, the prospect of painting 140 eyes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah. So what I might do, because my Contemptor and Leviathan and the Vindicator are quite different to the infantry models.
Yeah.
I might paint all the infantry first and then go back and do the vehicles as like a nice treat last. And to be honest, I can paint vehicles quite quickly.
Yeah.
And get them to an okay standard. So it means if I do run down the clock, then
it's also the kind of thing of going, Joe, I've done 45 and I just can't draw myself today to pick up another infantry. Oh, well, I'll spray that tank black. It's an easy tick, you know. Not necessarily I'm going to paint that start to finish, but I'm just going to... So that's still progress, and then I'll put that away and pick up the infantry. It was like building the dreadnoughts. Like, after spraying 45 models, like black, then bone, then highlight, I was like, I can either start picking these up and painting green shoulder pads, or I can have a bit of fun and build these 2 dead dreadnoughts. So I'm going to do that because I will sit and do that, whereas I probably won't do the green shoulder pads today because I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
You know, and then it meant tomorrow I was like, okay, yeah, now I'll start on the green shoulder pads.
Cool.
So we have 83 days until the event, till the Friday of the event because we're traveling on Friday. So 83 days to paint.
That's what I mean. I still have 75 models to paint. Technically 150 if I do all of the casualties.
Yeah. So I think the only thing which is slightly concerning me at the moment is the bases. Obviously, where I primed it black, did a white zenithal and then painted red. The bases are all kind of like a pinky white kind of colour.
Yeah, that's easy.
So what I might do is airbrush the bases back to black and just do a really thin, small needle airbrush and just go slow with it and do it last. Because otherwise, I'm going to have to paint it with a paintbrush. And they're all textured. So they're all going to be black and then dry brush grey, then white.
So you're doing that kind of grey, kind of stony, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, all mine are just flat bases, luckily. I haven't got any... I've got 1 or 2 that are like old models that I've repurposed.
Yeah.
Funny enough, like your old Blood Angel apothecaries.
Yeah.
But I'm using texture. Like, I just slap it over the top.
Yeah.
Start again.
So these are already rocky and slightly textured and rocky. So doing the black, then dry brushing grey and white will be fine. But yeah, so it's going well. I'm fairly confident now. I need to stop focusing on other things. I keep just getting distracted. So like I built all of the terrain for the kill team.
That was kind of needed though for us to gain. For this episode.
That's what important. I tell
myself. Yeah, important. And then also started building the Aquilons, which
that isn't
not needed. But I did it on the hangout on Wednesday because I was like, I'm not going to bring down some models to paint. Yeah. Like I was only going to be there for half hour, so I'll build something for half hour. And then I find it easier to build in the house at night when we're watching TV. Because it's less focus intensive. I don't have to have a light because I'm old and blind. So I don't have to have a light to see what I'm painting. And it means that I can just kind of get on with stuff in the background while also watching TV and, you know, speaking to Kelly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
However, that will probably have to switch to painting things black because they need to get blacked.
Yep.
So I'm just going to have an entire wet palette full of black paint, basically.
Yes.
Just slowly moving around the wet palette.
75 models or 70 models.
It's all right. It took me an hour to do the black on 10 missile guys.
The silver's the one that's getting me. I'm laying, I can't remember. I think it's called like Nightshade or something shade. Like an army painter silver that's almost black but got a metallic sheen to it. Yeah. And then highlighting with the silver. When it looks really good, I'm really happy with how the silver's coming out. But it's just those stages. And you're just like, again, you're doing a guy. You know, you get to the end and then you're like, right, now I'll do the highlights. Yeah. It's just monotonous.
I don't mind it if I have something on in the background.
Yeah.
Like, I've recently started rewatching Skins. So I've started that. And that's kind of a non-watch kind of show. So that and Superstore as well, I find is a good non-watch show. Or Peep Show, again, good non-watch show.
I tend to just put on stream. I'll just put on a stream. Just watch someone gaming or something. Yeah,
it means I don't have to watch it and I'm listening.
Yeah, well, like I can kind of take in, and I don't care that much about like if they're gaming. It's like, oh, I missed a bit. Like they're not playing I'm not watching a story of a game that I want to pay attention to. Yeah, I'm watching people play, tactical games or whatever.
But yeah, so I've just been painting those, which is good. I finished my 10-man Kazakin squad for my 40k list. I also was meant to have a game against Liam, so kind of panicked with what I was meant to play. And so I painted up a Lehman Russ command tank using the 30k Lehman Russ tank.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to.
It's not finished. It's just got the greens and it's got the green and the Agrax Earthshade sprayed on the top.
Oh, yeah.
So it's nowhere near finished. I meant to be playing him this Friday, but with being away for 3 days, I'm gonna have to cancel that because it's not fair to be like, cool, I'm gone for 3 days, and then by the way, I'm back for 1 day. No, I won't even be back for 1 day, and I'm now gonna go play.
You're away for Thursday, right? So
yeah,
you
yeah.
Get back Thursday night.
Yeah.
And then Friday you'll both work.
Yep. And
they'll
be like,
I'm going to game.
I'm gonna go play Liam now. See you later. So I probably should cancel that, in the interest of keeping myself married. But yeah, so that one that was a fun build actually. I did enjoy it. I'm looking at there's a couple of conversion kits because I quite like those tanks. They have way more detail, so I'm thinking about buying those instead of the normal Lehman Russes.
Okay.
But they don't come with sponsons because 30k sponsons didn't exist apparently.
Yep.
Weren't a thing.
One of the things. So you can buy conversion kits which you basically cut the model to pieces and then put in internal sponsons, which is quite cool. They're not the worst to do. Or Etsy, you can buy external sponsons to stick on them. Yeah. So I need to see the price point because
the 40k one's not fit then.
I don't have any 40k ones. I'd have to buy the 40k ones to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas I like the 30k
or like
tanks.
a friend like Liam who has 1 billion tanks probably has loads of sponsors.
You don't get spares.
No, but if you chose to build one without one.
But you wouldn't in 40k. They're free.
Now they are, but editions ago that wasn't the case.
The only thing as well, you don't have to put them on them. So what I'm doing with him is I'm just not running him with one.
Yeah.
And just being like, I'll take the hit for the cool tank.
Well, it also depends on the weaponry, right? Like old school, it was if you had like an ordnance weapon, your other weapons would be snapshotting anyway.
Yeah.
So a lot of people didn't put them on like the Vanquishers.
Yeah. If I can buy some, I will. But if not, like there is some 3D printing thing, but like you can just buy them from Etsy. Like I could get people. I know like Liam can print them for me, and so could Simon. But I don't know. Anyway, there's no more things that I've built that I can think of. Neil's done something.
No, I haven't done anything. It's just I need to sort this mic out again because it's dropped yet again.
Oh, has it?
That's fine. Do it.
Yeah,
we'll cut it. That's fine. Can't think of anything else I've done. I feel like I've done more. I mean, still quite a lot. Painting 10 man.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a whole squad, a whole army to red.
Oh, Jesus. This took so long.
Yeah, I was honestly so happy with like how quickly my airbrush just worked. I didn't have to after every 10 men be like, this thing's clogging up again. Like,
mine is at the moment.
So good.
I think I need to get new needles.
Yeah, I did think of upgrading, but then
it's probably not the needles. It's probably the nozzle.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
I just don't seem to like. Whenever I go and clean it, like I soak it for like I don't know half hour, or whatever in airbrush cleaner, and then I use the old scraper to go around the inside to get stuff out, and just nothing comes out. But yeah, when I go and use the brush, it either
the nozzle.
The nozzle is the little in the Patriot, the little bit that goes inside the 2 end caps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The nozzle. So I'll go because the end caps are clear. I've stick a needle down those so make sure there's nothing sticking in those to stop the air coming through, and then the main air hole on my airbrush I clean. So it can only be in the nozzle. There's not that many parts to it.
No.
But then when I soak it for half hour and then scrape it, because I've got one of the things you can scrape around the inside.
Yeah.
Literally nothing coming out, and it's still then I'll use it for like 5 minutes and it'll get clogged.
You're just not thinning your paints enough.
Yeah.
But then when I'm cleaning it, nothing's coming out.
Yeah, but it's not that the paint's getting stuck. It's just too thick to get through the.
I mean, I'm using airbrush paint, so it's not like I'm using proper paint.
So what I've started doing is I just a couple of drops of flow improver before I even do anything. Run that through, then a couple of drops of flow improver with the paint, and then if I need to thin it any more, which most of the time I don't because I'm using airbrush paint, but if I do, then I'll use water after that.
I don't know what it is. It's just getting a bit gummed up. It feels like it does need like a good deep clean, but I feel like when I'm cleaning it, nothing coming out anyway. So either it's that fucked that it's all gummed on the inside, or something is wrong, like a bent needle, like something is stopping it going out.
Could be a bent needle then.
But anyway. Moving on to the next section.
Yes, other media, other things before we hit some games.
So I found the library.
Libraries, right, are these places that store lots of books.
Libraries also have lots of 40k and 30k books.
They can have.
So in Essex, you have a library app. You can search the Essex Libraries collection, and you can get loads of 30k and 40k books that aren't necessarily in the library near you, and then they send them to your library near you, and you can get them.
Yeah.
So I now have Talon, but I can't keep it because I don't think I could live with myself if I stole a library book. So I now have Talon, so I'm reading through Talon.
That's cool.
And I've got 3 of the Minsker-esque series books waiting for me to pick up, which I'm delaying picking up so I have more time with them.
Yeah.
So I found the library. The library's pretty cool. You should go to the library and read some books.
You could do that. Yeah.
There's just so many. If you just like 40k in, there's just so many of them.
I know, but yeah. I did see they're bringing out basically an omnibus for the trilogy that Chris Raitt wrote for Space Wolves.
Right.
Which is following Ingvar, and I always forget the name of the squad. Onyx Squad, I think it is.
Yeah.
And I haven't read the third one of that. I have it on Audible, and I did start it a couple of months ago, and I just haven't gone back to it.
Yeah. I started Acadia Stan's book on Audible, and just not gone back to it.
And it wasn't because I wasn't enjoying it. I started it and didn't find the time, and then just don't think about it.
No.
So I'm thinking of picking up because I have. The problem is I own this classic Games Workshop, right? So I own the first 2.
Yep.
The third one was limited release and never came out after that.
Oh, standard.
So I can't buy the third book. So I'm like, well, then I either buy this omnibus and then I've got part 1 and 2 that I just don't need anymore. Or what I did at the time, because they hadn't released the omnibus, was download the Audible version of the third book so I could at least know the ending of the story.
Yeah. That'd be buy the omnibus, take the 2 books, sell them at your
the war boot. Yeah. Or just give them to someone at that point. Like, it's a book. I don't mind passing on books if people are going to read a story and get into something.
Good. That's the right way of doing it, rather than be like, oh, we don't make them anymore. £9 billion.
Yeah, exactly. I am thinking of clearing out my heresy books and just keeping the ones that I might read again. Might as well.
Okay, that's better. So, my Sam's hot takes. Haven't had a Sam hot take in a while. 30k. Why does 30k production value on YouTube seem like it's not advanced beyond 5 years ago? And so why have 40k battle reports have got like professional grade videos? So if you watch, so the people that I would cite in this, right? And these aren't bad quality. I wouldn't say bad quality. It's just not my preference of quality. So if you look at like Tabletop Tactics or 40k in 40 minutes, quite high production value.
Play on Tabletop is the...
Oh, yeah, sorry. Play on Tabletop is the channel name. Quite high production value videos, right?
Companies.
Nice studios, well lit, nice models, kind of really well painted, good quality videos, right?
Yeah.
And the way that they've tailored it to these short form, 40 minutes being short form is a bit of a weird one, or an hour long, probably Tabletop Tactics time. They're able to do a full game, which would take 5 or 6 hours to play because of recording and stuff. They would get that down to 40 minutes. So they take the relevant things that are happening and show you what it is. They don't take ages showing movement. They don't show you painfully moving 15 assault marines, anything like that. Yeah. And it's kind of like, I'd say, a TV level, right? TV level video versus the 30k ones. So I'm trying to get more into 30k. So I'm trying to watch more Blood Angel tactics, figure out how to play Blood Angels with my new list I'm taking. And so I've watched what they called ESN? No, EA. They do the Gibraltar.
Oh. Why have you done that? How my brain is
not Eons of Battle, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
He's 40k.
No, you've completely thrown me off now.
Hang on, let me read. I'll cut this out.
I would, I would have been able to tell you before.
SNN. No, not SNN. That's something else. SN Battle Reports. Yeah. So SN Battle Reports are probably the most. When I search 30k Battle Report, they come up.
Yeah.
So they are quite a big, 36,000 subscribers, right? Yeah. It's quite a big one. However, the quality just really isn't the same. Like it's not like in a lit studio. It's not got multiple camera angles. It's a lot of shaky cam, handheld stuff. Like the way that they go through the story or the rounds is very much like, right, now we're moving and I move these guys here and I measure with my tape measure and it seems it's very much like I'm playing the game at 30k with them, right? Rather than I'm watching a TV show of someone playing the game. Yeah. And that's a quite a good, well-established channel. If you go to some of the less established channels, it's way, way, way worse. Like it just you start getting 3 or 4 hour long videos. You start getting like, right, now this guy's gonna move. Right, now this one's gonna move. This one's gonna move. Like, and it's just like, why have people not gone? Why do we think a 30k channel hasn't gone the same way as 40k or the 40k channels with their production value and been successful to do that? Or is there a barrier stopping them?
Tried, maybe.
Or is there a reason why 30k hasn't been driven into that kind of 40 minutes?
I think it's competitive play.
Really?
Yeah. So tabletop tactics, you play on tabletop. They're all cutting down to the bare minimum of what's important for the game.
I would disagree, only because a couple of the videos that I've been watching recently from Tabletop Time are narrative driven because they run narrative events. So they're narrative driven games. Yeah. So I don't think it means you can't do the narrative in that time. Like
no, I don't. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is 40k has been produced to a more competitive play style,
right?
With the balances, with the data sheets, with the thing, and so it generates that kind of interest. So you need to be snappier and quicker with your videos to keep that attention, because they'll just go elsewhere. Whereas the 30k mindset, I would say, in some ways, has always been a bit more of a, this is a passion project. We're hanging out and playing some dice in it's historical reenactment in the far future. It's seen and encountered by the general public, I guess, as more of that. It's so like you're saying that
30k viewers are more accepting of longer form videos over 40k viewers who are only interested
more like snappy. I can play quicker than this.
So effectively, what we're boiling it down to is older people play 30k, younger people play 40k.
Yeah. I would. I'm not boiling it. There are other things, but I would say that's definitely part of it. You don't see younger guys like you read the Heresy and then get into Heresy gaming.
Yeah.
Whereas 40k is the front of the shop pickup game. Normally, I've not ever met anyone that says I came into the hobby playing Heresy.
Yeah.
Would be one of my considerations. The other thing is 40k has probably a larger market. So the companies that you've mentioned who have the very highly polished have editors.
Yeah, but they've only got
channels
won't have. They've only got that way because they've grown sufficiently.
Because 40k is more popular and sells more and
have more viewers.
Has more viewers.
Okay, so they've grown that way because they've drawn more viewers. Yes. But do you not think that there are plenty of 30k players that if you were producing, like, I don't watch some battle reports because they're 3.5 hours long.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're not getting my view. They're not getting my ad revenue. Yeah. So do you not feel like a 30k channel could succeed more if they were producing shorter form content?
Yeah.
That would be more.
But how do you get there?
Easy. You just
do it. I'm not saying editor, you need.
But you don't need an editor. You don't need an editor to do shorter form content.
I think you do, because you need to edit it. So unless you've got a lot of time to film that, then you are the sole editor.
So you're saying that because they would have to cut the video down, they have to spend more time editing it over just putting in the video. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like podcasts, right?
Yes,
with this format, it's easier to edit because we don't cut as much out. Yeah, so I do get that. So they put out less videos.
Yeah. But then, and if you go back to 5 years ago from Tabletop Tactics, their videos were probably 2 hours long because they were a smaller team who were working on it and editing it and learning that craft.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's a progression thing rather than like a laziness thing.
But it's just nuts that I can't find a 30k channel that does it. Yeah.
But that's because I think because like people like Tabletop Tactics have done 30k videos when the new boxes come out and Games Workshop send them.
Yeah, but I feel the problem with that, because I looked for Kill Team ones, and the exact same thing with Kill Team. There are very few channels that are doing Kill Team videos, and so Tabletop Tactics do it, but they do it once.
Yes.
So they don't do it again. So they don't have that kind of long-standing.
Doesn't generate the numbers that they want.
Yeah, but you're not building up an audience, right? You can open up a coffee shop, and day one you're not going to sell as much. You're going to sell in day 20.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that reoccurring visit, the reoccurring trade. So I think you need to be able to. I think I would prefer a 30k channel that puts out less content, say one video a month rather than one video every 2 weeks or whatever.
Which is really good.
But a really good quality edited video with just please just get a camera stand.
Yeah. Well, my thing is why as that person would you do that?
Because you're going to get more people watch your video. You could get, the hypothesis here, because I don't know, because no one's doing it, so we don't know. You could get more people watch your videos.
Yeah.
Because of that.
But if that number isn't going to break the point where you're then now turning it into a job, why would you do that?
Because you have other revenue, right? So SN do...
They do their events.
They do other things, right, to make that revenue. Same for Tabletop Tactics. They also have the premium subscriber thing. They also have their own events. Like
you're setting up to do that, right? Whereas a lot of the 30k guys are passion guys who love the game, and so they record videos.
I think they are probably doing it. Looking at the SN release schedule, no, they're doing. They're producing more than one video a month, and I think the only reason I could see they not editing more beyond a video style choice is that in order to make doing any videos viable, they're stuck in what they're currently doing, rather than investing a little bit more time in editing a video. I think I've never done one. Maybe I'll have to do one to see how long it takes to edit a video.
Yeah, it depends.
That's the only thing. That's the only. I think that's the only reason that you've said, which I think is actually a reason, is the fact that editing a video.
I think
it's
the type of people. Again, 40k has much more of a commercial, competitive edge, even in the narrative format, than something like 30k, which is simply a bunch of blokes who like the storyline, and so they do that.
But you could make some look at what's his face, the guy that used to do the videos.
30k channel. She was called the 30k channel, I'm pretty sure.
And those were
moved to New Zealand or something, right?
Fucked himself by moving to New Zealand. Well, I'm sure he had reasons to move to New Zealand, but he moved to New Zealand, tried to carry it on, and it didn't work because there wasn't enough people. Is my very brief understanding of what happened.
He had a studio, it was good quality. It's still it wasn't in the format that you've been sharing you want.
No, but there wasn't shaky cam. There was tripods. There was over top views. The quality was there.
Because that's what he said from the offset. That's what he wanted to produce.
It just feels nuts to me that nobody's done it.
I just don't think anyone wants to do it.
Yeah.
This is, because again, and I think you are right.
I can't be unique though. I can't be the only person that would want this type of content. So clearly there are people that.
Yeah, I get for me, 30k isn't changing every 6 months, 3 months, whatever. I'm not learning how to play 30k, so I don't. Even as a lover of it, I don't care about watching battle reports. Whereas 40k, when the new space.
But that's new though, because we used to watch way more battle reports.
Yeah. But they were all 2 hours, 2.5 hours long.
Yeah,
it's just
more
the
time.
old format.
I had more time on my hands.
That's the thing. 30k is played by a bunch of older men who don't have as much time.
Yeah, but like I said, I can't be unique. There must be other people that would appreciate this type of content.
Yeah, but not to the point where they're going, well, I'm not going to watch anything at all. You know what I mean? It's not a selling point. You're not. I don't think.
No, I disagree. I actively won't watch battle reports because they're.
Yeah, but I think you're more unique in that.
Yeah, but who has time to watch a 4-hour battle report?
The same way that you might have a stream on in the background.
I don't
digest it differently.
Yeah, I still feel like it's a gap in the market and the people should just should do it.
But unless it's going to be financially viable, why?
I think the financially viable, they're relying on more content to drive. More content drives more views purely because you're putting out more content, more clicks through, right? rather than putting out less number of content, which might be a higher production value, which might get more views, but might not get the same views if you put out 2 videos. Put out like 2 videos for SN this month. They put out 2 12 days ago. Weirdly, one 12 days ago, one 4 days ago, and they had 6,000 views and 4,000 views. So unless you're doing a video that's once a month that's getting 10,000 views, then there's no point in just putting out. And you'll have people who are just religious
project, and you're not bothered about earning ad revenue.
No,
and you're just putting it out in the format that
you've
grown up with and used to.
Surely I don't know. I would then move on to the putting out better content, better quality. Like we always strive about better quality content. That's why we buy better microphones. Yes. We bought a better sound desk.
Yeah.
Right?
But we can easily just sit here and record a podcast because we want to.
God, why would you do that?
I don't know. Well, that's how we started.
We did it so we could hang out.
Yeah.
That was the reason we started.
But you want to hang out, and you know other people enjoy this stuff, and you've maybe got friends in other places. So you go, well, we're just going to record our games.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. We're recording our games. And then normally what happens is you get sucked into that process. So you do get better at hosting a video and better at not showing every single movement, but you're not cutting it and refining it to a point where you're a business trying to make money. And that's the difference. And that's why I don't think it isn't happening, because people aren't doing it in a way of going, and here's this, and here's my Patreon, and here's this.
The thing is, right? If you don't like what you're seeing, if you're not seeing the content you want to see, make the content you want to see.
Yeah, that is definitely part of it.
Need a studio. Anyway, what do you think? Let us know in the Discord, on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever we engage with you. Let us know there. It'd be good to know what other people think. Would you like short form, 40 minutes to an hour long 30k games?
I'd love it.
Would it be something you'd be interested in? A bit more higher engagement, less shaky cam would be good. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to game highlights. No, Neil, you have other media discussions.
Yeah, I do. Sorry, you just wandered off on a massive rant about videos.
It wasn't a massive rant. It was just...
That was fairly typical of a Sam's hot take.
I
just think it's stupid.
Yes.
But you have other content.
I have other content that's not related to that at all. So I've listened to the Vaults of Terra, the Carrion Throne.
It's good, isn't it?
It was enjoyable, yes.
Nice.
I didn't have a clue where it was going to go.
No. Is that the second one?
That's the first one.
First one.
We did this one, though, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
No.
This is one I read and told you all to read it because it was really good.
Yeah.
It's the starting of 40k. We haven't done it.
So...
okay. I'm thinking of the one with the Custode and on Terra.
Yes, that's not this one.
And Dark Elder.
This is the same series, but this is...
I'm 99% sure when we were doing book reviews, we have done one of these.
Anyway, hey, what do you think of it?
I haven't done it because this is the first time I listened to it. See, I enjoyed it. Oh, and
that doesn't mean we didn't do it. It just meant you didn't listen to it.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I really enjoyed it, actually.
Are you going to get the next in the series?
I have already.
You already got them, right? Cool.
So I looked at the reading order.
Yep.
And
the one that I've used.
No, you didn't send me it. So.
Oh, sorry.
So one of the reading orders was you're supposed to listen to Cadia Stands first.
Yeah, I disagree.
So
because it's happening at the same time.
Yeah. So I listened to Carrion Throne first. I was like, whatever. I, as long as they don't differentiate too much. And then I've started listening to Cadia Stands. My God, they're all from Yorkshire.
Yeah, they are. Some of them are.
I was just like
Vaults of Terra.
Yes,
is the series.
The Hollow Mountain
is the one we did.
That's the one we did.
That's the one where it's the Ashton. Sorry. Okay.
Oh no, let's not go there yet.
I have the Carrion Throne as well. No, so I haven't listened to the Vaults of Terra one.
So Carrion Throne, Vaults of Terra is the series.
Yeah.
The Carrion Throne is the first one.
Yeah.
The Hollow Mountain is the second one. The Carrion Throne came out after the Hollow Mountain, which is why we read the Hollow Mountain. Then it's Emperor's Legion.
Yes.
The one I have finished is the Carrion Throne.
Oh, which is the first one.
The other one I haven't listened to.
Oh, so we have done
this.
Well, it doesn't matter. So you enjoyed it.
Yes, I did.
You've got the others in the series to pick up.
I've got
I from memory, I don't think it's going to harm you knowing about Cadia Stands. I'm about a quarter of the way, halfway through it now at the moment, and I don't think anything happening there that directly impacts the story on there. I think it's just because they're happening roughly.
Yeah.
the same time, it's nice to know. It's like almost having it on 2 TV screens.
Yes, so you've got sequential.
Okay.
It's just so very, 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 very strange.
Yeah,
that they're all from Yorkshire.
Yeah,
and Sheffield.
Yeah,
and all up north.
And
they talk like this. And we're gonna stand and Gideon stands. It's great.
Isn't Creed's Yorkshire?
They're all from Yorkshire. They're all got the same accent because the chap who's reading it is from up north. But it's even the Chaos Space Marines seem to have a slight Yorkshire twang to them.
I haven't got to the Chaos Space Marines yet. I'm 5 hours in, and it's they've been sent to the awful the rock the wall.
What?
Cadia Stands, Justin Hill, that one.
Yeah. You hold on.
I don't think I've heard a Space Marine speaking a Yorkshire accent yet. I'm pretty sure I'd remember that.
Chaos Space Marines with a slight.
So they're in it because so the bit that's happened.
This is brilliant. This is so funny.
So
you listen to the same book and have no clue what each other's talking about.
I've stopped listening to it just because I've picked up things. So I might be misremembering. But the moment what's happened is the humans that have been sent to defend Cadia have now turned against the rest of the Cadian defenders. Creed is doing his daily blog post of aren't we great? Don't worry about it, guys. We're all going to fight these people. The main character, the one who's leading the
Major
Bellend. He's been sent off to the mountain to defend the mountain, and he's like, what the fuck is this place? And he's like, oh, you'll know when you need to know type bullshit. And that's when I think I was like, I need to pause this for a while.
Okay. Right, fair enough.
So you further.
I'm further. I'm not even halfway through it yet.
Well, how many you got left? How many hours you got left?
I've got 5 hours left.
I've got 5 hours 39. So the next 40 minutes there's going to be some Chaos Space Marines. There's going to be some Northern Space Marines coming on.
That's hilarious. 40 minutes difference.
That's very strange. Yeah.
It's, I like you enjoying it so far.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just I couldn't work out who right at the beginning. There's a chap talking to his daughter who's 4 years old, and I haven't quite worked out who that is yet.
Really?
Well, I don't know because it's.
Shush.
You think it's somebody that's already been mentioned? I'm guessing, yeah.
Mainly because she's in my army, so I know her background, and I know how she's related. So that's why I think it's her, but I don't know that for sure.
Because I'm thinking it's one of two people.
Okay, who do you think it is?
So it's either the person that I've already encountered,
right, which is Minsk-esque,
yeah, or it's
Creed. Ursula Creed. Yeah. I think it's Ursula Creed.
See, I'm not sure.
You think it's the?
At the moment, it could be either.
You should start listening to it again.
Well, I mean, now's the week. This is the week to do it. I'm away, so
yeah. And next month we'll find out who this person is.
Impromptu book review. Okay.
No, just who was right.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm apparently 40 minutes ahead of Sam.
Yeah.
For now.
In the future.
In the far future.
Really had a. Okay.
I mean, to be honest,
I need to start listening.
It's been a while, so I should probably restart again. It's been probably about a month since I listened to it.
The wonders of driving to and from work and being.
I mean, Audible's your thing, right? You should be if you're driving that much. I'm finding that I want to read more, so I get these books from the library, and then I'm like, I've read like halfway through Talon now. And I'm like, this is really great, but then I go for a week where
you're busy.
I'm busy and I don't have time. I'll try and read before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Rather than watch TV or whatever. So if I find I can't do that because we stayed up till 2 a.m, fucking 1 a.m, playing Kill Team.
We'll get to that. We haven't got to Operation Kill Team.
Anyway, we are falling drastically behind. It's already 20 past 2 and we feel 20 past 12. Right. Anyway, other just media discussions. We've done that. You got anything else you want to say?
No, I haven't got anything else I want to say.
Any game highlights?
So we've all played some Kill Team, so we'll talk about that in Operation Kill Team. I'll just throw that out there. Other than that, I played one game of 40k, which feels like forever ago, but it was in the last month. I played my Space Wolves versus Tom, who brought his Eldar Seer Council.
Right.
We played a 1k battle. It ended in a 58-58 tie. I swung it back in the final turn. and it was just really, really fun getting to play some 40k. Eldar are very scary.
Do they still
with their
have
dice and stuff?
Oh, they still have their...
It's, I wouldn't say watered down, but refocused.
Okay.
It doesn't feel ridiculous anymore.
Okay, because
it's
obviously the
better
codex...
balancing.
Codex was like, here you go, I can have millions upon... Well, it sounded like millions upon millions of rerolls. I know it wouldn't have been, but...
No, they can buff still pretty well, but it's not as ridiculous as it once was. And it was his first time playing the Codex as well, which was really cool. I think I did a general better job at positioning, setting myself up for a decent final turn so that I could run onto objectives and get the secondaries that I had active. And positioning was like key for me bringing the tire back, because he was always ahead and I was just always playing catch up. But then that last turn I'd killed enough of his army in the previous turns where I could just reposition to then gain points.
Right, okay.
Because we had 5 objectives on the board. I can't exactly remember the missions. But so that kind of pulled me back. It was literally like jumping one last inceptor over a bit of scenery and landing on an objective that then gave me the points that got me to draw the game.
Cool.
So that was really cool. We also played at my house, so I got to play on my board. All painted scenery, playing at home on my home fully painted board was really, really good fun to do.
Cool.
And it's kind of motivated me. I kind of moved all the junk that was around the table to the other end of the conservatory. But now I want to kind of clear it so it can be a decent hangout spot as the weather's getting nicer now.
Yeah.
Cool.
And get some more games at home. I think I'll be able to play more if I'm doing that. So, that was just a really good time. And playing the Wolves was fun. I brought Wolven again, which I played them differently to how, after watching some videos and how people were using them, I tried that out and they were a bit better at kind of being a threat, like just hiding them behind some terrain and being like, you come around the corner, they're going to hurt. But because they're only like 75 points, running them out, just running straight at the enemy, they just died before doing anything. They're not very survivable. But keeping them as like a bit of a distraction and a bit of a, I'm going to use these as my roadblock. These are going to come out around the corner and charge you, and you have to then deal with them, and you're going to get stuck down by them, and that worked really, really well in the center of the board.
Cool.
So that was quite cool. I'm just excited for a Codex though. Like him playing out of a Codex and me out of Index. Felt very like I noticed it.
Yeah.
So I just can't wait for the Wolves Codex, and then I think I may dive both feet into some 40k.
Cool.
But yeah, that was my game.
Nice.
Sam, you got a game in?
Yes. So I also played Tom actually. I played him in 30k though.
He gets around.
Yeah, he gets around. I played him in 30k. It was a victory to me, 9-2. We had the deployment of Ambush, which was the
middle one.
Big middle blob in the middle. Tom picked to go in the middle, which I was like, that's nuts. I'd never pick that.
Yeah.
But he picked to go in the middle. That was fine. I deployed most of my stuff on the left-hand side. I'm trying out my 2,500 point list. I'm taking Jet to the event in, what would you say, 63 days? 83 days?
3 days.
So taking it there. It's a new one for me. It's Blood Angels actually doing Deep Strike, so Day of Revelation. Which is pretty cool. I was actually surprised with, I always thought the Deep Strike was way, way more hamstrung. Where actually, you're not really, not that much. I mean, the problem is Tom's army is an elite heavy Contemptor Dreadnought kind of army. So there's not much that can actually intercept. So I think I got off fairly lightly.
You would not like my force.
Yeah, yours, someone like Liam's, which is quite a heavy shooty one as well. So I think it just relies on the fact of pinning you. Yeah. Like pinning's quite important.
Pinning tests basically make or break your game, probably.
Yeah, and again, because Tom didn't have that many actual troops. I only had 2 pinning tests. I pinned one, didn't pin the other. So again, I don't really feel like I felt the full force of it yet. It was I thoroughly enjoyed the game. Cool. It was quite scary, keeping things alive for one turn to bring everything on. Deep Strike worked pretty well as a Blood Angel player.
What did you deploy? It was a heavy support.
Leviathan, a Vindicator, a heavy supports team with missile launchers, and a Contemptor.
Oh, okay. So 4 or 5 units. Yeah. The likelihood of losing all of them before you arrive is low.
Yeah, so I lost.
Literally just go, "Hi guys, I'm on the hill. Shoot me."
So turn 1 before I went, because Tom went first. I lost 9 of the 10 missile squads. I lost the Leviathan, and my Contemptor was down to like 2 wounds.
But that's because he had a chitin.
He did have a chitin, which I then killed and got a victory point for price of failure.
Yeah, which is nice. But
it's like a Gundam.
A chitin is like it's not in any of the black books. I think it's from one of the campaign books.
Yeah, so Chaos Knight.
It's basically like a Chaos Knight.
Oh, okay.
It's fun.
But they are disgustingly quick.
Yeah, like 14-inch movement.
It like moves 14, and then obviously he's got a 12-inch charge. So it can pretty much hit you first turn no matter what.
The only thing I would say, it's definitely a distraction card effects.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely is. If you just ignore it, either deal with it in one turn, or ignore it and let it just charge into things it wants to charge into.
Yeah.
Like, he charged into my Leviathan with a melter cannon, and I took a half his wound straight away because of the Overwatch.
But if that's like a 20-man tack squad, like...
But you just tie him up.
Right?
You just tie him up.
Yeah.
Like, cool, stand here, that's fine. Like...
Yeah.
If that, like, 500-point model is charging into, like, a 200-point tack squad, or 375-point tack squad.
Yeah, well, yeah. They are, from what I've seen of them, they are literally, it hurts you pretty badly first turn.
Mm-hmm.
It goes for the biggest threat it feels for the rest of the army. Yep. That's its job.
Yep.
So if that's
Leviathan with melter cannon.
Yeah.
And then just runs amok until it goes down. And then you just, there's no way of not dealing with it because it's always going to be in your face.
And it can split fire, so it can charge whatever it likes and shoots whatever it likes. So, and it's got like a chain cannon type thing. So it just shoots, annihilates shoot choices, goes into the biggest thing. Anyway, very good unit. Not like it was tough to do, but because he charged something which is made to kill zombie robots, I think I took it down to 1 wound left, and then the Contemptor shot it in the back with a las cannon. With being ready to charge, to take the bullet as well, to kind of try and take off the 1, but I managed to get price of failure. Deep Shot went really well. He spread his guys out quite a lot, which made it harder to charge, so I had to do some like conga line charges to get into troop squads, so I wasn't near big scary robots. But no, it worked out well. I think it went okay. I need to play it more to get used to the army, so hopefully the next couple of months I'll play a couple more games. I need to play some different types of armies, like Liam's like his solar, to get that kind of gun line.
Yeah.
I need to play probably Matt's for the gun line Marines as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was right. Wasn't too bad. Was not too bad. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And then I played quite a lot of Kill Team, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes, we will do that after our break.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll take a quick break and come back with our Kill Team segment, Operation Kill Team.
Hi, I'm Neil, and you may remember me from such things as Who's Neil? My dog ate my hobby project, and Tau, fish or friend. I'm here to tell you about our Element Games affiliate program. So as you may know, running the podcast does incur some costs. Hosting and equipment are just 2 examples of this. To help with these running costs, we have signed up to the Element Games Wargaming Web Store affiliation program. This is where Element Games provide us with unique links to their web store, and if you use our links, then we get a percentage of what you spend, big or small, to help run and improve the podcast. The links take you to Element Games homepage or straight to the 40k products category. Simply shop from there. You can find these links in our featured posts on the Facebook Community Safe Room, on our Discord channel, and on our Instagram. Thanks for your help and support.
Welcome back, and here we are with our Kill Team segment. We're spending this series and season, whatever we're calling it, going through Kill Team and dipping our toes in the water. And we decided after 3 months of kind of mucking about a bit, we decided to roll some dice and play some games. So this today's topic is us just talking about those games, how we feel about Kill Team at the moment, experiences, highlights, just a general discussion around playing Kill Team 2024.
I think I would say let's talk about it in 2 chunks.
Yeah.
Let's talk about playing the simple kill op light rules.
Yeah, which me and you have done.
And then we'll talk about the mission, the actual games afterwards.
Which all 3 of us have done.
And I think we can talk about the value there. So starting with the light rules. I don't know, how do they describe them? Is that how
it's light, yeah. L-I-T.
Light rules. Now that we've played both, I would say the light rules are light because they don't take into consideration missions or complexities with missions. It doesn't take into consideration equipment, really. It doesn't give you any options to pick equipment in there. It doesn't
even mention equipment, which is very confusing when you download the Kill Team app and you see a whole thing saying equipment and you're like, how do I access this?
Yeah. It doesn't know about equipment. It doesn't really do anything about cover.
No terrain
it's
at
very
all.
much like, here's your guys, put them on the board, these are the guns they have, go and kill the opponent.
Yeah, and you don't get, like, with the mission cards, you get the like, terrain set up.
The deployment maps and stuff.
Like, you don't get any kind of deployment map. It talks about the game size and your like, drop zone edge is 3 inches from the table.
It's light. It's the light rules. It's about getting out there, rolling some dice, and then seeing whether or not you like the format.
Yeah, I think it's lacking. It's a little bit lacking to do that properly. I think having just a little bit of, whether it's just the terrain or just the equipment or just a little bit more.
It's just complicated, though, isn't it?
Light.
Like it's just adding extra.
Yeah,
like
equipment. Call it simple. Don't call it light, because
equipment basically just changes the things that you're doing. All it's done, all it's doing is any manipulation to the standard variation of the game is basically gone, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So I get why they've not kind of done it, because
100%.
Like ladders mean you go up 1 inch. Like, we don't really talk about terrain, so we can't really have equipment that then does that.
Yeah.
Like, so I get what they're doing, and actually I think it was a really good intro to the game and made me think more about like what guns can do and what I can do movement wise.
Learning your data sheets and stuff like that. I could see that. I think it would be nice if it just said, put a central objective on the board, and at the end of the game it's worth this many points. Or something like that, because it was literally, this is how you play, and you can use the app to work out what you get to bring, pretty much.
Yep.
Go. You're like, well, what is the purpose of this?
It would be good if they gave you one mission, because the missions in the app that are in the app are like a Titus specific one for Kill Team.
Yeah.
And then another one which is
and I think
not aimed at this.
Like Joint Ops was more complicated than the light rules, which fine.
But Joint Ops is a game system inside the core rulebook as well. Like, and they've got different missions for it, and it's kind of like they've got campaigns and stuff for it. So I think almost it goes light.
Then everything else.
And then everything else.
I just think it's hard when we came to our first game, we were like, well, we've got crit ops, tac ops, primary ops for the missions. And you're like, this is completely foreign. What is this?
Yeah.
And so I think you need a light version of that.
So rather than just saying your primary op is this objective in the middle, get a take and hold, it's worth 5 at the end. I think that's what they would need.
Yeah, that's all it needs.
Yeah.
And then at least you've got a reason to play and a way of scoring.
I think...
Because they don't even give you the kill grade stuff.
Yes, they do. It is in the light rules.
It's not.
It fully is in the light rules. We were looking at kill grades when we played our game.
No, that's because we looked it up because we couldn't find anything. So it just has the setup, the engage and conceal, and how to play. There is nothing about scoring at all. Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So yeah, you don't get anything. So even you just have to assume that your mission is just kill each other to work out the rules.
Yeah.
And maybe I misunderstood, and I'd have to go back and look at how they kind of advertised this new era of Kill Team. But it felt like the light rules were like, here's a way of playing for free as an intro.
That's what they are.
Except they don't give you a way to play. They give you the rules to roll dice and work out if you're dead or not. But it doesn't even say, for every dead guy, you get a point. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't give any way of winning. It doesn't give any kind of mission, anything.
In the words of the almighty Emperor Palpatine, wipe them out, all of them.
Yeah, well, just a sentence that says that's the goal. Like, it just gives you 0. So you're a bit like, okay, I guess I'm just killing you. And again, if you go into it with play light to get to know how to play the basics.
Which it does say. So at the top of the light rules, it says, Kill Team is a tactical combat miniature game. Good and dark feature. 2 rival teams are highly trained operatives battle and complete objectives to achieve victory. The rules presented here are simplified for those found in the Kill Team book. They are intended for introductory, fast and easy play. A game is normally played with missions from the mission pack, but you can play without one to learn the basic mechanics of the game. Some teams will be sometimes be highlighted in orange. More detail will be found in the rules, whatever. And then in the setup, it literally is the player initiative selects drop zone for mission map. If you're not playing a mission, so it does give you the options. I think that was when we went, well, where are the missions then? If you're not playing a mission, the player initiative selects one of the edges of the kill zone to be theirs. The opposite edge is the opponent's. 3 inches of the kill zone edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just something that says, like, you get a point per dude you kill. And I know, obviously, the kill grade doesn't work that way because then the more elite ones would be...
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Just that little tiny bit more and I'd be happy with the light rules.
Yeah.
Whereas right now, it's play the light rules, then buy the core book.
Yeah.
And I'm not cross with anyone that's how it works. I understand why they want to sell things, but it just is a bit weird.
Yeah. I still feel like you could play the light rules, get a good indication whether or not you like the game before you then go and jump in and buy the core book, the missions, the terrain. Like at the moment, to be honest, all you need is play the main guns. I wouldn't worry about any of the orders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just go and shoot people, work all the data cards, and then see if you like it. Right. Main mission. So the correct way, not correct way, the full version of the game.
The proper.
Neil, what did you think?
I'm undecided.
Okay. Why?
I prefer having it almost been more of an overall commander. I don't like the focus down on...
Too zoomed in.
Yeah, it's not... I like the scale that you get with a game of 40k.
Yeah.
It's not just one squad, it's the synergy that happens between the squads. I know there's potential to get synergy between the individual operatives. The individual player characters, and I'm going to adamantly still refer to them as player characters, not player operatives. That I prefer, and almost even to the point where I'd even much rather possibly play Imperial Legions as opposed to
with the mini tanks.
Well, but season 4
again,
the Imperial Legions.
I don't think
him to twist our arm into a gaming system rather than the other way around.
Do you own it?
No, I don't own it.
Don't own it yet.
I'm not going to waste money on a game that neither of you two play.
I'll play it, maybe. Matt will play it. We can get him to do it.
I mean,
peer pressure.
We convinced you to play Kill Team, so
but I didn't have to buy anything.
True. Very true. Not yet.
Well, technically, if you want to play it, you need the mission cards and the core rulebook. But anyway.
So yeah, I'm out. We only got up to the end of turn 2.
Turning point 2, yeah.
Turn 2, cool. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm undecided.
Okay, I mean that's not a bad place to be. I
think after a little bit of a taste, it would be weird to go, "Oh, this is the best thing ever," or "I hate it."
Like, and it's also a lot. Like it's very different to 40k. That even if you've kind of gone, I've played enough 40k and 30k. Like I know this game is kind of the same. Like 30k and 40k arguably are very similar games.
Yeah.
With some nuances, don't get me wrong, I appreciate that, but they're arguably very similar games. Units move, do stuff, kill, don't kill, whatever. Whereas this is very zoomed in and
a bit more tactical.
And I think I get what you're saying with the bigger. I like bigger games, more control over a battlefield rather than individual units. I think models in this count way more. Like, and actually, you're making a decision of I pop out, I shoot. Actually, I'm gonna get deleted back, or I feel like playing to the mission is more important in Kill Team.
Oh yeah.
Rather than going on a killing spree. I don't think you can just go and kill things. Not as a Kasukin player, you can't just go and kill things.
I would agree with that. I think it's definitely been a steep learning curve. I think by the end of Turning Point 2, you've got through a lot of things that then mean the last 2 turns feel a bit more fluid.
Yep.
Because the first, like the setup and choosing your crit op and your primary op and your tack op, so you've got all your mission and how to score points. You've got to do all that. You're then deploying. You're doing your strategy phases. You're doing all this stuff. By the end of Turning Point 2, you've started to lose models, so you've got less to think about. Just in that fact, and you're doing more of what the situation needs. Yeah, because you can see it in front of you. You're closer, so you're going, well, that guy's going to charge. That's an easy decision. Whereas first turn, you're far off from each other, so you're like, well, I need to terrain hop so I can't be seen, and I need to do this, and maybe I want to set up here, and maybe it's a lot more variable to think about. Whereas later and later into the game, as you've lost models and the task in front of that particular guy is much simpler, because I'm now standing 3 inches away from you, so I've got a punchy guy, so I'm clearly going to charge. Whereas the first turn, you're going, well, I know I want to charge with my punchy guy, but how do I get there? And what strategies am I going to play to give him wounds back, or do this or do that? I feel like all of those things make it slower to begin with. Yeah. So it takes a longer time to get going. It does feel, ironically saying all that, it does feel short as well. Like 4 turns. By the end of turn 2, you feel like, I finally actually know what I'm doing. And then you've only got 2 turns to pull it off. So it's like, because you don't score anything in the first turn, pretty much.
No.
Second turn is now we've started to exchange and actually lose casualties. And then, so you've only got turn 3 and then the 4th turn to get onto those objectives or to get done what you need to get done. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's not a good design. It just is suddenly the game almost feels like set up. Okay, I'm playing. And now it's like, oh God, I need to get there, otherwise it's going to end and I'm not got a chance.
Yeah. I think that's probably where we didn't get up to. That might be the reason why I'm undecided.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I'm much happier playing a smaller kill team. So I tried the joint ops with the Catchans and the guard with the orders and things I felt confused about, because I really didn't have any knowledge of any of the rules. Yeah. So it just felt like it was too much. Whereas going, okay, I've got some orc models, let's have a look. Oh, it's only 6 guys and 2 bomb squigs. Well, I've got that instantly already. Yeah. And because they're orcs, they're just simpler. And so that suits me fine. And I've enjoyed the 2 games I've played with them, have been good fun of those guys. I would say my dice are incredibly hot as an orc, apparently, because both my games against Sam, I was just deleting models quite easily, and I think I'm not necessarily supposed to hit as much as I was.
Okay.
So, like, orcs are like hit on 5s, and if I haven't moved with the rockets, they can hit on 4s.
Right, okay.
And I was hitting 4 or 5 times out of 6.
Nope, fair enough.
So it's just that slightly more, and in some cases very higher than the average. And because they're high damage, because it's a rocket guy, it just means that the squishy guard just disappear.
Yeah, quite.
And I think that was, and orcs are quite high wound count. They're like 12, 13, 14, depending on what they are. Yeah. As well as you can give them up. Like I put heavy armor on my knob, so he got +1 wound. So he was 15. So it's just really hard to whittle those wounds down, especially when your majority of the guys are 8 wounds. Like 8 to 15, I'm nearly 2. I'm nearly worth 2 of your guys in wounds. So it was interesting to see that. And it was really cool to watch you guys play, who had similar model count, similar wound count. And that seemed to play a little bit more evenly. Yeah. Whereas I think our games, if he got lucky shots, I'd really feel it because I've only got 6 models. And if I get lucky shots and he doesn't, it felt like, well, I just had the big powerful dudes and Sam had no answer to them. And I don't know, would you agree?
No, I think your army's bullshit. No, I think the orc benefit is the fact that they're all 14 wounds, 13 wounds.
Anywhere between 12 and 14.
So they're already 4 wounds more than my guys.
Yep. And you've only got 4 models more because I'm bringing 6, and technically I'm bringing 8 because the bomb squigs don't count.
No, but they do count.
But they do count. There's still bodies.
There's still bodies to kill, right? So I've only got 2 more models in theory, whereas all of your guys have got 4 more wounds than mine.
Yeah.
A crit on the majority of mine is 4, and I do 4. So the maximum I could do if I got 4 crits when you didn't defend anything would be 4, 8, 12, 16. So if I crit everything with one guy, I would kill one of his orcs.
Yeah. Whereas my standard shot this is the Wrecker crew. Like the commandos are different because they have like the sluggers and choppers, whereas the Wrecker crew are a bunch of tank busters. So they're all got rockets. So rockets are 6 attacks. The damage is 4. Their crits are 5. So I only need 2 out of 6 to wound.
Yeah.
To instantly delete a guardsman or a crew warrior.
Yeah, quite.
You know, so numbers really matter. But then, like Sam says, there's only 2 models, so it does feel a bit imbalanced.
Out of your 6 shots, you only need 2 to hit.
2 to wound you.
2 to wound.
Normal success as well.
Normal success, no crit. So can you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And the fact that how many of your guys can do that?
3.
3 of the 6.
Oh, well, 4 because the knob has the rocket pistols.
Oh, he's got in pistol form. So 4 of the 6 can do that.
Well, just stay 8 inches away from the knob.
And but then the other 2 are like punchy guys.
Yeah.
Who hit like trucks if they get there.
So I think it's more. I don't think it's a problem with Matt's.
No,
actually, I think there's a slight issue with Matt's army. I think it's more that the Kazakins are not a powerful faction in Kill Team. Like a lot of their orders, a lot of their buffs, rather than affecting everybody, affect one on a condition of being like you have to be this far away. Like so, I don't think it's Matt. I don't think the orcs are overpowered because I don't know that. I haven't played them enough with other factions, but I think the orcs compared to the Kazakins are strong.
Yeah. I definitely would agree with that. I think from the bits I've looked at online and looking into YouTube reviews and stuff like that, the Wreckers are kind of seen as like mid-high. The ones that are the really strong ones, and you'll probably understand this now having played, are like the Eldar type armies that are like not quite elite because you do get still around 10 models because they're a little bit squishier. But a lot of their weapons have piercing, which like a lot of the Eldar, the Corsairs, ones we looked at, most of their guns have piercing 1 or 2.
So piercing removes dice. Everyone gets 3 dice to save.
Yeah.
Piercing number removes that number of dice. So my plasma has piercing 2.
Yeah. So you're only rolling 1 defense dice.
And a plasma rolls 4 attack dice. So instantly, as long as I hit more, you're not able to defend that. So that's why piercing's powerful for those.
Piercing is pretty strong.
However, the Elysian Star Striders, a lot of them ignore piercing.
Yeah.
So I feel like I might paint them up and play a different one.
Yeah. I think it's the Kill Team is built for that, right? If you enjoy it, you're gonna have 2 Kill Teams minimum, just for the fact that you can do different things.
I think it's more that Kill Team actually, if you already got models, is actually a really low price point to get into.
Yeah.
Like you don't need the box with the terrain to do it.
No, the one thing I would say is unless you have terrain yourself, that's the best way to get terrain for Kill Team.
Oh yeah.
Because
100%.
you get the in the mission you get 6 different like maps for terrain.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the right level, you have a stronghold, heavy terrain, light terrain, all the different things. They're all in that examples. Whereas even with my old school G-Dub ruins, I can almost copy those maps.
Yeah.
But they don't look quite the same.
Well, the terrain we used in our first game doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Like I feel the terrain that comes in the boxes has a lot less visibility to shoot through terrain. There's a lot more solid walls on the ground layers, because I think that for an army like yours, which has long range. Like my plasma, my good guns are like 8-inch ranges, whereas Matt's are infinity. They're not rockets. Rockets, no, infinity. So in theory, if Matt has a good position and an open board, he can shoot from one side of the table to the other. So I can't do anything to damage that.
Yeah.
So I think the way that Kill Team combats that is by having the terrain not being able to shoot through very fast. You can't actually shoot from one side of the table to the other without a very lucky shot or a very like tight alley positioning.
Yeah, unless someone's exposed themselves to get a kill further up the board. Like you guys had a bit of a murderous middle board. And then snipers picking off people, which was really cool. It has made me think, like, obviously I want to build a Kill Team board with the downed Warhounds.
Yeah.
I'd still want to do that, but making sure that board is viable and works rather than just be, doesn't it look cool? But it's a bit crap. Like for...
So there is, it talks about, in the core book, there is a section about building your boards rather than using the standard layouts. Cool. So it talks about, like, considering having even deployments and even amount of terrain and blocking features in each deployment area or in each half of the board. So I think if you're doing the down Warhound, that's not a problem at all. I think you probably would need to break it up so it's not all just one chunk in the middle.
Oh, that's
like,
the idea.
Like having it, so like the scatter heavy terrain that you get 3 pieces in the normal set. So having those 3 pieces be the scatter terrain for that, or or not having it in one half, having it bang smack in the middle of the table.
It's made me think, originally I was just going to plumb everything into the board, similar to the way I did my oil refinery board.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
But I'm thinking if I do that for the Warhounds and the big pieces, but actually getting pieces that are removable so you can then set up those heavy terrain, light terrain in the right places. Would probably be better.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What did you give me 2 things that you liked about the core rules?
I liked.
I can go if that's easier.
Yeah, go on. Unless you're just throwing it out.
So one thing I like is I really like the way that you resolve close combat. So it feels more balanced, and you actually have the ability to do some damage rather than just having, like in 40k and 30k, where you get a hit, I get to hit, we all get to hit, it's fine, and then you resolve wounds. Your hits and matters more because you have a pool of dice. Those dice are then used against each other to remove Matt's dice or hits Matt's character or the enemy character. So it's a lot more kind of like strategic playing. So I actually quite like how balanced it is, because I think you could very easily just have a close combat guy that just walks through people if you didn't do it that way.
Yeah.
Because it would be a case of just going, well, you're instantly dead because I get to fight first, so you're instantly dead.
Yes, yeah.
So
like
that's a one
model
would
just crush your dude, but you actually stab me,
and you actually get to do something against them. Like even if it is taking 2 wounds off, it's still 2 wounds, right? So I think it feels more like less. It feels less hopeless.
Yeah.
With some close combat orientated armies fighting non-close combat orientated armies. So I like that.
Yeah, that was really cool. I would agree with that. I think my first one I would go with is the missions themselves. You have a shared mission called a crit op that you both read and see, and then you basically have a tactical op which your kill team has different like keywords that access certain tac ops. So like my ones are security and seek and destroy for the orc wreckers. And so you can look at them and then you secretly choose one out of the 6. I think there's 3 options for each archetype. And you choose that, and that's your like secret mission until you then reveal your first time scoring it. So I quite like that idea. You've got a secret mission that your team doesn't know, and maybe your the opponent's trying to work out what that might be, which is quite cool. And then the primary op is, I don't know why it's called primary. I would call the crit op the primary because you're both sharing it and keeping it open. But basically you get a bonus to either your tac op, crit op, or the kill score, which is always in effect. And you get a bonus to your end score depending on what one you chose. And so that's quite, I just liked the dynamicness of the mission choosing, and having something different to your opponent that works towards the score is quite refreshing. So I quite like that. it was an interesting way of doing kind of how to win a game.
Okay.
That would be my first one, I think. I'll think about a second one. Anything highlighted, jumped out to you? Cool thing that happened, or?
The brief 2 rounds just really highlighted how important it is to, if you try to be in cover, be in cover.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely worth thinking about, because you draw from the bases. So if your model can see the model, you can shoot it, but you need to see both sides of their base to count as not in cover. So having half your base tucked behind a building wall means that then you're getting that bonus of cover, which is really important. I think for me, I see lots of potentials of some cool moments. So like whether that's a sniper taking someone's head off, or in your game today, the pistolier has the rule where he can shoot before the enemy do.
That was cool. That was really cool.
So having like Sam's leader jumped out from behind a light terrain, pulled out his plasma pistol, went to shoot the pistolier. The pistolier then shot him, took all but 1 wound off, and then the sergeant then did some wounds. Pistolier was still alive. And then I think Sam got to counteract because you'd used all your operatives.
Yeah.
So then you counteracted, and on his last wound, shot his plasma pistol, killed the pistolier, but then it blew up in his face and he died. And just that was such an epic moment of during that game that I thought that was so cool. I had a similar one in one of the games I played Sam. I can't remember if it was the light or the proper mission, but my like bomb squig ran around the corner and just detonated. And it was really like I don't think I even successfully killed the guy, but it was just really fun running a bomb squig around a corner and just blowing up. That was just really cool.
No.
I think it's that's one thing I don't particularly like at the moment is there's the ability that if you say you've got I've got 12, well I've got 10, Matt has 5 operatives. When all of Matt's have gone, and I obviously still have 5 more operatives to go, every turn Matt's operatives can make another take another activation. Other one AP.
It's still insane.
So can still move, can still shoot, can't assault.
No. So you can do one that costs 1 AP. So which is an action point. Each model has a certain number of action points.
Yeah, I get that.
You can do 1 action point. And you can either shoot or move or charge.
But, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can move, you can shoot, you can charge. Like you can still.
It just sounded like you can move and shoot. No.
No, you can.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you can only do one of those things. Obviously, Matt just said. But so you can still shoot. So your shooting guy can shoot again.
Yeah.
And doesn't cost anything. So effectively, it feels like you have 2 turns. You have everyone has 2 turns.
Having a lower kill team is not a detriment at all.
And it doesn't. There's no negative to doing that.
No.
Apart from that, it doesn't change. You can't move your full distance. You can only move like 3.
You can only move 2 inches.
2 inches. So you're hampered that way. But I'm moving 2 inches.
Oh, and ultimately, you're only ever going to choose to counteract because you don't have to do that.
No.
But you choose to if you've got an operative that you can see. So you're either going to charge it or you're going to shoot it. Really, that's most of the time.
Yeah.
That's all
so
you're going to do.
It effectively means that
they do need to be engaged.
You can shoot twice.
Concealed.
Yeah.
So you've got less models, so there is a higher potential you're concealed and then can't do it. But it feels a bit strong. Like I misread it this morning when Neil and Sam were playing, and I read it as like you spend a command point to do it. That makes sense.
That makes way more sense. And
you
way
only
more
generate
balance.
1 or 2 a turn.
Yeah.
So it's not like insane. So you'd be able to do it like once per turning point.
I think from the other way, right? But even Space Marines don't have like 5-man kill teams. They're like 10 men still.
No. They're like 6, 7. The Angels.
But it's not like there's a wonder. There's like 1 or 2 dudes that you're going to get absolutely annihilated from being surrounded, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like there's like you could have a drastically different size kill team.
Yeah.
All right, you've got 6, Neil's got 12, so you've got double the amount of you. So would you feel more if you couldn't do it? What would be interesting is to play a game where you can't do it, or you can only do it with 1 command point, and to see how much that drastically changes it. Like, do you feel like you're just being bullied in a circle because they've got more models than you?
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly been thought out and put in. It just currently, in our limited knowledge, feels very strong.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy. And it's not like, I get to shoot, but you're snapping, like hitting on sixes, only crit successes work, or you know what I mean? Like, it is just pure go again with one action.
Yeah.
Each operative can only do it once. That is there is a slight. It's not just just keep shooting. Yeah, so with your sniper.
Like it is, it's only going to matter like once or twice.
Yeah.
But still feels a bit.
Yeah, I would completely agree.
What's the reaction called? Sorry, it's the what's it called when they do it?
Counteract. Yeah, so they literally, if all your operatives have gone, the enemy's still moving, you get a choice before they then go to the next operative to do one action point action, which is all of them other than, I think, fall back is 2 to like run out of combat basically. That's the only one that's more than 1.
Yeah. Google AI doesn't think it's broken.
Well, we trust everything to AI now.
In Google we trust. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good fun. I genuinely really enjoyed playing it. I can see myself getting really into it. And so maybe I'll try and get a game with someone other than you guys, which would be really cool. Like play something completely different to the Caskins, or Sam, if you build like the Aquilons or the Vespids or something, roll again, see what happens. I think now I understand the game a little bit more. I wouldn't mind going back and looking at the Catachans and seeing if I understand them a bit more. Because I think when you're reading like the orders and the strategy ploys and things, it's so much that you do feel a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And have no idea what you're doing. Whereas now I'm like, well, now I understand when to play a strategy ploy, what firefight ploys are, how that works, when you do it, then I think maybe I'd understand them a bit more. Because I don't want to... I think if we do play regularly, which I'd love to do, then having just one kill team, I could imagine getting a little bit samey.
Yeah, I do feel
you're only playing the same person as well.
It lends itself to having multiple kill teams. Yeah. And I think that's the benefit of the light rules and the fact that the data cards are available online for free at the moment, is that the majority, like me, I've got, without really trying, let's not count the ones I've just bought the box for, 5 or 6, I could field 5 or 6 different kill teams. So I think that's quite cool. One thing I definitely think is valid is having the cards to provide for me, the easy access to the firefight ploys or the strategic gambit ploys or whatever, because at that point it allows me to remember they exist rather than being in a different section of the app. I don't know if printing it will make a difference, because then it's still flipping through pages.
Yeah, it's still flipping through pages.
So I do feel cards.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I think the one thing I desperately need is a set of tokens.
Yeah.
Because if you don't buy a box, you don't get the set of tokens.
Which is slightly weird. They don't sell a
standard set that you need for everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like the conceal orders, the engage orders, whether you've been boosted for an action point boost or those little ones are really, really useful. And you use them as an easy way of scanning the board on who can go, who has gone, like who's wounded, who's not. I think all those things are really, really good. And by not having them, you just make it more complicated when you're already trying to learn what feels, at the outset, quite complicated rules.
Yeah.
It's actually not, but...
No.
It's
the added layers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the gambits aren't complicated, but when you have to do a gambit while you're trying to figure out what your dude's doing, then it gets complicated.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else you want to say? Last bit?
No, I don't think so. I just look forward to playing it a bit more.
Oh, cool. Right. What we're going to do is take a quick break and come back with our spotlight. A brand new combine harvester, and I'll give you the key.
Alright there, my lover. Sometimes farming is hard work, and I need a midweek break. So we started Mike's Midweek Hangouts, as a midweek haven from the hustle, bustle, and loud noises of the farm. These gatherings are held in Facebook rooms. You can join from the link found either in the Adeptus Terra podcast safe room or found in the Hobby Hangout channel on the Discord. If you want to get some midweek hobby progress in, why not grab your scrumpy and join Mike on a Wednesday from 8:30. See you there, my lover. Come on now, let's get together.
So, welcome back. Second try here.
I missed my good comment about how great my advert was.
I know.
I'm really sorry. That was on me.
That's fine.
It is recording now. I can see the red bars.
Welcome to the Spotlight. We're doing a lore segment this time round, and we're looking at Kaldor Draco of the Grey Knights. Some of you may remember him with long memories, the fun YouTube videos of him. They were the same guys that made the Blood Angel Space Hulk animation videos on YouTube. They're hilarious. And whenever I hear Kaldor Draco, I just think of warp dust. Does anyone want any warp dust? Go check them out if you're not sure what I'm talking about. I'm sure you'll find them easily enough. But Kaldor Draco is the 48th and current Supreme Grand Master of the Grey Knights. We're going to, in this spotlight, follow his unique journey in existence as the Supreme Grand Master of the Grey Knights, but also looking at the history of his biggest rivals, battles, and experiences that formed him into the Supreme Grand Master and this formidable warrior of the Imperium. So little is known of the rise to power of Kaldor Draco until, as a simple battle brother of the Third Brotherhood, he managed to banish the Demon Prince Umkar, whose full title is Umkar, the Reborn of Acrolem.
Okay.
Because, they all need fancy titles after their name, the demons. They're very poncy like that. The Demon Prince's original name was Malok Cartho, a Dark Apostle of the Wordbearers, but he claimed ascension to demonhood after sacrificing his company of Wordbearers, attempting to detonate a virus bomb after already killing millions of civilians in the attack on Calth during the Horus Heresy. So the Warp thought, this guy's evil and doesn't mind killing his own people, we'll make him a Demon Prince. Seems like good, wise judgment. And he merged with that demonic entity known as Umkar and took on that name. In 799 M41, many moons later, Umkar appeared again and attacked the world of Acrolem, which is where that title eventually comes from. And he seeked to turn it into his throne world. I nearly said throne room. That'd be a very grand throne room.
Big room.
Yeah. But throne world, where he could create an empire in real space. The Imperial counteroffensive was spearheaded by the Grey Knights, and in the final battle, Umkar was slain by a young Kaldor Draco. Yet the Demon Prince held on to his grip in real space just long enough to lay a terrible curse that would affect Kaldor Draco for the rest of his existence. The quote is from Umkar: "Victory is yours this day, mortal, but know that if ever you set foot upon this world again, you and all who follow you shall walk with damnation for 10 millennia." Was a bit salty about losing.
So as you can guess, obviously, the fighting on Acrolem and banishing that Demon Prince, Drago moved up in the realms of Grey Knights. We don't know all of the roles Drago has had, but usually a Grey Knight goes from being a regular fighter to a Justicar, so a squad leader, then a Brotherhood champion, so the top fighters, then a Brotherhood captain, a Brother captain, so a company leader, and maybe even a Grandmaster, one of the chapter leaders. This has likely happened to Drago before the events known on Koronovin, where he became a Supreme Grandmaster, the overall leader of the Grey Knights. The Grey Knight The Grey Knights, led by their Supreme Grandmaster Geranitin. Geranitin
is how I would say that.
G-Man.
Yeah, there you go.
G-Man Grandmaster fought a war on Kronovin against the Death Guard, who were led by a powerful Demon Primarch Mortarion. Mortarion had been destroying many areas before this. All the Grey Knights decided to fight him on Kronovin because of the G-Man thought it was the right time. During the fight, Mortarion killed G-Man. The Grey Knights had to retreat to their last base on Kronovin as Mortarion's army got closer and closer. The Grandmaster, or those chapter leaders, had a psychic meeting and agreed that kaldor Draigo should be the new Supreme Grandmaster. It's nice that they voted for him while there was a big
democracy.
Yeah, you go, you're it. You're the one.
Tag. Now tell us what to do.
Yeah.
Tag.
They then used their psychic powers to give Draigo the knowledge of Mortarion's true name. What Mortarion? Oh, not Mortarion.
It's a demon prince now.
True name, which was a special name the Emperor had originally meant for him. Using this knowledge, Draigo faced Mortarion and fought through his strong bodyguards, the Death Shroud, to get to the Primarch. Draigo wasn't as strong as Mortarion, was about to lose, but he used all of his remaining power to do one last psychic attack. This attack surprised Mortarion and made him lose focus, giving Draigo a chance to say Mortarion's true name. Francis. When Draigo said the name, Mortarion's body was destroyed. Draigo then took Mortarion's heart and carved G-Man's name into it. Surely that's them making him a demon prince.
What, G-Man?
Yeah.
No. He carved Gerenitan name onto Mortarion's heart.
Oh, right, okay. Just as it's a weird thing to do.
Screw you. It is a bit strange, but I guess because Mortarion had killed Gerenitan, it's like, screw you, you're going to carry his name for the rest of your existence.
Well, Mortarion was weirdly very angry about this and about the disrespect. And as his spirit healed in the warp, a dangerous psychic dimension, he started planning how to kill Draigo. Do you reckon the scar of the name is always on his heart now?
I guess so. Yeah. I think that's why it's there. Otherwise, why would you write that in? He wrote it on the heart, and then the heart dissolved and done. Yeah. I guess there's some psychic, eternal thing about that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, felt a bit weird. Like, it kind of feels like I've killed you. Give me your heart.
Yeah, I love the bit. It's like Draigo wasn't as strong as Mortarion. You're like, yeah, of course.
These things happen.
Yeah.
So, for roughly 200 Terran years, Draigo served the chapter and the Emperor of Mankind with unfailing distinction. But in the 200 years since the initial fighting on Acrolem, there's an astropathic There's an astropathic distress beacon that brings terrible news that once again Acrolem has been invaded by demons. Surprise, surprise. So when Draigo learns of this invasion, he knew without a doubt that Mka had been reborn in the warp once again, and this invasion of Acrolem was the Demon Prince's attempt to bring to bear the curse that he had laid upon Draigo.
Yeah, lure him in.
He's going to, yes, we're going to get him this time. So the Supreme Grandmaster forbade his fellow Grey Knights to come with him to Acrolem, lest they fall prey to the fate that Draigo believed was his burden to bear alone.
Yeah, because it did say, didn't he? He said, you and whoever follows you.
Yeah. So, the Grey Knights unwillingly agreed to the command from their lord, and none disobeyed him. So, Draigo travels to Acrolem to meet Destiny. He had little communication with the defenders that were already on the planet. His grim purpose clear, he trod the battlefields of memory that were now running with fresh blood. So obviously the demons are just laying about, absolutely obliterating and feasting on the Imperial guardsmen and defenders that were on planet.
Yeah.
At Castle Gorseth, Draigo unleashes a potent psychic flame that washes over all the demons and rotting plague zombies that are assaulting it, sweeping them away and allowing him to fight the Nurgle abomination that has led the assault and eventually slay it.
Nice.
Later on, in the Trebarin Valley, Draigo holds the Imperial rearguard alone in the narrowest part of the pass.
About 300.
A bit of 300 element there. There seems to be a lot of, I'm going to steal this kind of element. I've heard him somewhere before from this story. And possibly something from this story that I'm going to mention a little bit later about something that's happened. and basically keeps the demonic horde back whilst the 912th Regiment of the Cadian Shock Troopers retreat. Survivors of that battle remember that it was Draigo who held the pass for 2 solar days, and never once did he retreat or tire. Eventually, and climactically, the confrontation between Draigo and Makar took place atop Shadow Peak, in front of the warp rift. Right, in front of the warp rift from which the Demon Prince drew his unholy power. On the edge of the rift, they fought as the demon spat curses and insults at Draigo, but his words and sorceries found no purchase upon the pure soul of the Grey Knight. Again and again, Draigo summoned the sanctifying psychic flame of the Emperor, yet Makar merely laughed at the charring of his flesh, and Draigo could not keep pace with his immortal enemy for forever. Makar's blade glowed darkly with warp flame, and he unleashed a terrible blow that struck home, and with a shark?
Just going to pull out this great white shark.
No. Makar's blade glowed darkly with warp flame, and he unleashed a terrible blow that struck home with a sharp crack, shattering the Grey Knight's Nemesis Foresword in half, driving the Grey Knight to one knee. I'll just leave that in, and then at the end of the episode have me saying my mess up.
Yeah. I mean, I think you've vastly overestimated
just keep
the
this
amount
all
that I edit the episodes now. I pretty much listen to it and make sure there's something racist.
Yeah.
Or racist or particularly angry.
Fair enough.
I also always remove all of my cock-ups, so it's just you guys.
Okay. That's fine.
Fair enough. But Draigo was not yet defeated. Roaring a battle cry of his own, he rose up from one knee and double-handed thrust the sword's severed stump into Makar's foul heart.
And wrote somebody else's name.
He scrawled a new name.
Draigo was here.
Yeah.
With that one blow, Draigo delivered Acrylem from damnation for a second time. And as the death throes racked Makar's body, so did they begin to tear at the warp rift he had summoned. With the warp rift closing, the howling demons of Makar's army were unable to stay in real space, and so returned back to the warp. However, in a last act before being drawn back into the warp, using the last of his demonic strength, Makar wrapped his talons around Draigo's throat and heaved the Grey Knight into the collapsing rift.
Dun dun dun. But what happens now, you would say? Well, the life of Kaldor Draigo did not end that day, for he survived his passage into the warp and the realm of chaos. Lesser men would have been driven insane by the arrival in the domain of the chaos gods. Now, to remain pure while constantly assailed by chaos shows fortitude and personal strength that is beyond measure. This is a great hero of the Imperium, after all. He has undertaken many great exploits within the warp, slaying the great bloodthirster Karvoth, setting fire to the jungles of Nurgle's domain, defeating the 6 chosen demonettes of Slaanesh, the 6 sisters, and destroying the fortress of the Lord of Change, Kachen. In 999.M41, getting very close to current 40k, Draigo returned alone again to Acrylem to free it from Umkar, who clearly had a hang-up about this world.
Yeah.
Hoping to end the chapter's ancient feud with the demon. After the formation of the Great Rift, Draigo discovered that he could now return to the material realm for greater periods of time. So what had been happening is rifts would open, and if somehow Draigo was close enough within the realm of chaos, he could jump through that warp rift, aid the Imperium, and then would be kind of sucked back in due to the curse that Imkar placed on him. But now the Great Rift has ripped apart across the galaxy, that giant rift splitting the Imperium almost in two. He can now kind of walk around quite easily.
Yep.
Now the Grey Knights, kind of wise men, because I can't say that word.
The prognosticators.
Thank you. Believe that his presence is linked to Mortarion due to the hatreds that bind the two together, and maybe that carving on his heart.
I mean, who would have thought writing somebody's name in your heart would link you to him?
Yeah, I guess so. And that is why potentially Draigo is able to penetrate real space, while Mortarion is just the word penetrate. Maybe.
No, it's more just Draigo penetrating real space.
Fair enough. While Mortarion is leading his hordes of Death Guard in the Ultima Segmentum, because that's where Mortarion is right now.
Yes.
Draigo recently appeared to each of the Grand Masters of the chapter and asked for their counsel. And due to the dire state of the Imperium, the Terminus Decree was given consideration. Now, this is a very interesting bit of lore that I learnt doing this segment. The Terminus Decree is an ancient scripture or instruction written on a simple piece of parchment and locked away within the Chamber of Purity on Titan, making it a sacred relic to the Grey Knights chapter. The existence of this artifact is known only to the Grey Knight's Supreme Grand Master, until he then obviously talks about it with all the other Grand Masters, but anyway. And there is no record of it to be found in any library in the material realm. Such is the power of the Terminus Decree that is only to be opened in humanity's darkest hour, when all hope for the race is lost. What happens once the box is opened and the decree is spoken by the Supreme Grand Master is inevitably very dangerous. But no one really knows what it may do. Either it may save mankind from certain defeat, or doom it to oblivion for all eternity, because there is no hope anyway. In this capacity, it is the ultimate sanction of the Grey Knights to be used only as a last resort, once all other options have failed. The exact nature of the decree is unknown. Its very existence is obviously only known to, until this point, a single soul in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And even then, a very small number of Space Marines in the Grey Knights now know, or the Grand Masters. Yet rumours around it still exist, because of course they do, because we need a talking point. Some believe that it will summon forth some ancient and terrible force to battle and defeat the enemies of mankind. Others think it will purge the warp of the Chaos Gods and their minions and bring about a new age for mankind, free of their demonic influence. Still others believe that once read aloud by the Supreme Grand Master, it will perform its rite and bring a halt to the ancient and arcane machinations of the Golden Throne, ceasing the life-giving support to the Emperor's long-dead body and freeing his soul to be reborn anew. This is the most likely thought theory, as it is said that the golden seal which rests upon the box containing the decree is one of a matched pair, its partner found only in one place on the Golden Throne itself.
Wonder if it looks like a little hammer.
No comment.
Little tiny hammer.
At this point, it was chosen to keep sealed.
Surprise, surprise.
Because, we can't have the clock fully hit 12.
No.
And have everything die by some weird arcane relic. Draigo's latest appearance was during the assault on Sortaris in the Prospero system. The Grey Knights librarians used their powers to try and banish the illusions that were being assailed by them. So the Grey Knights had gone to the Prospero system due to all the warp activity and the threat that was going on there. And there's loads of illusions, as you can imagine, being followers of Tzeentch and Thousand Suns. It's all kind of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey, spooky-wooky stuff going on. And the librarians are trying to kind of stop that. A warp portal appeared instead, and out of it emerged their lost Grand Master, Kaldor Draigo, once again, whose power cast away these illusions. With the path now revealed to them, the Grey Knights and Grand Master marched towards the Chaos Ritual site on the planet of, what was it called? Sortaris.
Yep.
Now, although greatly outnumbered by the Thousand Suns and their summoned demons, with the help of the Dark Angels, after many lives were lost, they succeeded in destroying the ritual site and ending Magnus's plot. We don't really know in this situation what that plot was, but just that Magnus was at the heart of it, and they stopped that. The surviving members of the strike force then began evacuating Sortarius, while under heavy fire from the vengeful Thousand Sons. Stern, who's the character within the Grey Knight's command structure, is one of the Grand Masters. Kaldor Draigo, Lazarus from the Dark Angels, and the strike force were able to successfully escape the Prospero system, but they had been forced to leave many of the Grey Knights and Dark Angels behind. The thought of what the fate awaited those Space Marines captured alive by the Thousand Sons filled the strike force's survivors with dread. The Grey Knights soon sent the Castellan champion, Garen Crow, to rescue their lost brothers. But that's a story for another time.
Yes.
Because we're following Draigo.
Indeed.
Now, I think, Neil, you're going to lead us through...
Yes.
Actually, why is this new? This should be
I
Sam.
don't know, but it's me, so...
That's fine.
I will crack on with it.
I took it very personally, but...
I apologise.
Go on, Neil.
So we're now going to take a look at the war gear that Draigo has that served him for hundreds of years without fail. So he's got a suit of Terminator armour. He's armed with Storm Bolter and Storm Shield, frag grenades, crack grenades, and psych out grenades. Psych out grades? Psych out grenades. His primary weapon, however, is a reforged Nemesis Force Sword called Titan Sword, which is a mastercrafted blade and is an extremely potent anti-demonic weapon capable of badly injuring even the mightiest greater demons and demon princes of the dark gods. So, this is the sword that Makar shattered. So,
probably got in a lot of trouble for that, didn't he? Because he wasn't the first one to wield this sword.
Yeah, but this is this got shattered, and then he was pulled into the warp.
Well, no, this has got shattered in the first encounter, isn't it? Where he got cursed.
No.
Oh, is it afterwards?
Second encounter. So, at that point, I'm like, well, how is he... Where did he get another...
Interesting.
So, he basically... He's got half a sword at this point. He's probably collected... Well, I don't think he's collected up all the other fragments because they're probably still on
he's
Acrolem.
Been thrown through a warp rift. He's didn't have time.
But he's had a fight with the greater demon bloodthirster Karvoth.
Oh, yes.
Who he kills. He then purifies the bloodthirster's massive battle axe with Silver Fire of the Emperor.
Interesting.
And uses the molten remains to remake...
Oh, wow. Okay.
Titan Sword.
It's the shards of Narsil.
Yes. So you can see where, we're going to steal some elements of a story from another place. So the Titan Sword is a relic of the earliest days of the Imperium. It has been entrusted to the Supreme Grand Master of the Grey Knights since their records began at the end of the Horus Heresy. Stories of this Nemesis Force Sword give it many names: Mind's Edge, Foebane, Life Drinker, to name a few. Legends say the Emperor forged the blade for a favoured general during the Unification Wars on Terra, teaching him how to use his mind to trigger its terrible powers. During the Great Crusade, it was then passed into the hands of his champions, spilling alien blood on 100 worlds as mankind reclaimed the stars. When Malcador, the Sigillite, took the first Grey Knights to Titan just before the start of the Siege of Terra, one of the relics he carried with him was rumoured to be the ancient Force Sword. It was then renamed the Titan Sword by Janus, the first Supreme Grand Master, and the blade must be psychically attuned to each new master. Only once it is keyed to the mind of the wielder can its true killing power be called upon. Every lord of the chapter has been warden of this blade. And though many have used other weapons in battle, the Titan Sword's keen blade has slain more demons than any other, and no one has claimed more demon heads with its sharp edge than that of Kaldor Draigo.
Hero.
Yes.
He's built up to be kind of, the survivor of everything, and just nothing stops him, nothing hurts him. He just finds a way and gets it done.
Exactly.
which is it's pretty cool, to be fair.
I think he's a pretty cool model, right?
Yeah, he's an interesting model. So to round
out,
old model. Yeah, to round out, I thought we'd talk a little bit about this. So he's got quite a dated, now outscaled model.
Yes.
So it's a Terminator model. You either get a helmeted head or an unhelmeted head. He's got big storm shield and like the sword's kind of just out in front of it. Yeah, if I remember correctly, it used to be a big chunk of metal. Now fine cast.
It is a big chunk of metal.
Yeah. I remember him just being a solid, like knock someone out kind of
horrible
thing.
Horrible.
Now obviously he's not really scaled properly, and it is an old sculpt. And with the codex for 10th edition coming, we saw the shown new Nemesis Dread Knight, like Grandmaster with the mace kit upgrade sprue thing that they showed. Armageddon's happening where Angron's now back.
Ooh, Angry
Ron. I wonder if, I don't know, do we get a new model? Do we get a new data sheet for him? Do we get neither? Do they kill him off? Give us a new dude?
What's it called? Astral Comic on him. The Rubicon. Crossing the Rubicon.
Yeah, like does he come back and they're able to break the curse? Because it's probably, what? Well, it's not been 10 millennia
It's not been
yet.
10 millennia
Nowhere near. So he's still going to get pulled back into the warp at some point. Now, currently, he's able to walk around a bit better, so I don't know.
Will he have time to go across the Rubicon?
Yeah, like I don't know. It's an interesting one. I feel like he's the kind of character that you can't just go, and now he's dead.
No, he has to go out with a bang.
So I wonder whether, I don't know, in my opinion, you either legends him, don't give him a new model, but carry on selling it, or just quietly stop the model, but people who've got it can still play him.
Yep,
because they've got the legends. Because he is a legend, he's not always there. He comes out of the warp at times and then gets sucked back in and all that jazz. So he kind of fits that quite easily.
Yeah.
So if you were Games Workshop, you could choose to do that.
Yes.
I think it's that, or you've got to go, here's the brand new model. He's been Rubiconized, or now he's in a Dread Knight. That would be kind of crazy if they're doing that sprue. Be like Kaldor Draigo is now just permanently welded into a Dread Knight that gets sucked back into the warp, and rather than a Terminator. I think that would be a crazy out there idea, but you never know.
Or you just bump him off and have Mortarion do it.
Yeah, I think
Mortarion's back. Yeah, so why not?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do. I think you either need to go the full hog or not at all.
Yeah.
Really, I think keeping him kind of in the middle and just quietly kind of pushing him to the side seems a bit, I don't know, lazy. But they have been known to do that.
So. Quite.
It is interesting. They're the only Marines now that haven't been primified.
What's happened with Castellan Crow? Because he had a new sculpt.
He's got a new sculpt. He's got a new model.
Is he Rubicon?
I don't know. I never looked into it because I wasn't playing Grey Knights.
Yeah.
I have to admit, whenever I look at Grey Knights and do a bit of like reading, like around this time, Kaldor Draigo, I do go, they are kind of cool.
Mm.
Like I'm not a massive fan of like the baby carrier Dread Knight design. I just don't really like the Marine kind of
fair enough.
There. And
I do. I think it's great.
He's not hanging there
too. He's got little footsies.
He's got little foot.
I don't know. I prefer the new Sisters ones they did. They looked cooler.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple of them.
They looked a bit more like the like a Contemptor kind of vibe.
Yeah,
built into the body.
Yeah.
That'd be mental. Bring Draigo back and put him in a
Centurions. Yes.
Something like that I could get behind. But yeah, the Dread Knight just doesn't do it for me. I think it's very mono-posed.
Wasn't there a release of them doing a new Grey Knights? Was that?
Where have you been?
Like 5 minutes ago. Yes, they with the Space Wolf. It was.
That was it. Yeah. There was one. So they are doing a new baby carrier, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, no, it's a
because they got a little hangy thing.
It's for the new Grand Master in Dread Knight.
Right.
So it's not all Dread Knights are getting redone. You're going to have the Dread Knight as it is, but you're going to get a Grand Master, so you can now have a Dread Knight lead your army, and actually have him look different to the other Dread Knights. Because I think you might have been able to do that before, but the problem was it just looked like a normal Dread Knight.
I can't remember.
But what you don't know is if they've done other models in that.
Yeah,
release,
you don't know
right?
if that's a brand new
That's
kit
all they've done.
Sprue, or we don't know yet.
So whether or not they're going to release an actual codex update with Draigo.
There is a codex coming.
With a Draigo, little touchy fiddly killing offy.
That's what we're discussing. What do we think they may do? Just for funs.
I don't think they'd kill him off. Like, they kept Dante. Prime time to kill off Dante in the last codex.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah,
and they didn't do it. But they did kill off Tycho.
That's not that surprising, though.
I mean, he had 2 models that never changed.
They've given Crow a new model, which makes me feel like...
They haven't got many named characters in Grey Knights.
You can get a Stern model, which I find a bit weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd be surprised if they do axe him. But at the same time, GW have done weirder shit, so... What do you know?
It's interesting. I think it would be cool to have him kind of either they work out a way to break that curse, or they come up with a weird warp force field that stops him getting pulled in, so he walks about in a bubble.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like
Crow is not Crow. The Mechanicum dude. Cool has done weirder shit with keeping Gulliman alive.
Yeah.
So
he's in a suit that permanently.
And this is the type of technological challenge that Cool will probably really enjoy.
Yeah.
So actually, them going, Cool has figured out a way of like a disruptor. So he is actually still in the.
Yeah.
He is in the realm, but he's also here at the same time, and it's like allows him to do warp jumps in the game and some bullshit like that. Like, I could see it. Cool. I could see the bullshit.
Yeah, I think he's too iconic to get rid of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think the reason they didn't do a Dante kill off is because it's Dante, and how many people would be really upset about that? And you've got to write it almost perfectly to do it.
Interceptors, Purgation, and Purifiers are all out of stock.
Yeah. So I imagine we're going to get Rubicon's
Grey Knights.
It'd make complete sense.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else?
No, that was our spotlight.
That could be a really good Marine Army to do for 40k.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me, Frodo.
I mean, you still got your crazy fists.
I've still got many.
Crazy fists?
Yeah, it's crazy fists. And the bloody fists. Crimson fists.
Oh, okay.
Jesus, that took a long time.
I know.
I
knew exactly what you were talking about.
That's great, yeah. No, I didn't follow your train of thought there.
I just really wish they'd Rubiconed Cantor at that point.
Yeah, it could still happen.
It could.
There's talk of some more of those kind of chapters getting some love.
We'll see.
But we shall see. But I quite enjoyed going through Kaldor's Draigo story, and just can't ever get Warp Dust out of my head after watching that video. But yeah, it'll be cool to see what they do with the Grey Knights. They're always kind of secretly interested me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll take a quick break and come back with our round out. Do you want to paint some models? Come on, let's go and paint. They're always sitting on the shelf. They won't paint themselves. Do you want them to stay all grey? Hi, I'm Matt, and you may remember me from such things as pessimist or realist, you decide. Laziness, the hobby killer, and the burning of Hivani Prime. I'm here to tell you about the monthly hobby hangouts that we host online. These run usually the last Sunday of every month from 8 PM UK time, where you will be greeted by one of the podcast hosts. Every month is a blast with lots of chatter around the hobby as well as wider life in a friendly atmosphere. Some of us get a decent amount of hobby done, but by no means is that the must for these hangouts. We post updates and links to these events through our Facebook Safe Room and Discord channel, so jump on those to join in with other members of the Adeptus Terra community. We hope to see you there. Welcome back. That's another episode wrapped up and done. I hope you've enjoyed the content we've brought today and the random ramblings we've had. I really enjoyed thinking about and playing through Kill Team this last month or so. That's been really, really good fun and just something new for the hobby. So that's definitely a highlight from me. Before we go, just a normal thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Reminder that the next hobby hangout is May the 25th from 8 p.m. That's our monthly hangout that you'll always get one of the hosts at least for a couple hours, and is a good time hanging out and just doing some hobby and talking to people who are like-minded than you. We also have our weekly hangout, which you would have heard the awesome advert for, so always feel free to drop in and drop by on a Wednesday with Mike and whoever else can make it. They're really, really good fun. I can't commend them more to all you guys who are listening. Again, Facebook Safe Room, that's a great way to find that link for the Hangouts and to get chatting to us, as well as our Discord server. We'd really like to push the Discord server and see new people join that, so there will be a link where you pick up the episode, and if you can't find one, feel free to get in touch with us via Instagram or Facebook or via email, the Adeptus Terra podcast at gmail.com. And we can send you a link to the Discord server, and we'd love to see that grow and see you there. Anything else to add, gentlemen? I don't think so, but always good to check.
Nope.
No? Well, we'll be back in May with another episode. I hope you have a great month, and until then, I've been Matt.
I've been Sam.
I've been Neil.
And this has been the Adeptus Terra podcast. See you soon, guys.